Hey everyone, this is part 2 of our 200th episode spectacular celebration. We're not doing a regular movie review in this one. This is just us sitting around some friends of ours who are also longtime guests on the show and some newer guests we've had, and just talking about what it took to get to 200 episodes, looking back on the years, and talking about some of our favorite moments from the show, some of our favorite memories, favorite episodes, and movies that really made an impression. Just having a fun conversation with guests and friends. Hope you enjoy it.
So bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton. With me today is a panel of guests. Well, starting off, we'll get to them in a minute. But with me, as always, Mr. Aaron Southworth. How are you doing today, Aaron? Let me know.
I'm doing good, man. This is our little 200th retrospective. It's like some people think these things are corny, but I really like doing these. I kind of like looking back and being like, look, we did something. You know, we've got 200 fucking episodes to prove it. Were they all bangers? No, but man, we had a lot of fun doing it.
Right. I agree. I guess some people might not like them and might not listen to it, but you know what? It's fun for us. Like I said, it's something we never thought we'd make it to 200 normal episodes, not counting all the bonus episodes and content and everything else we've done. Right. So it's for us, it's been nice to look back, and I think it helps kind of, looking back to pave the way for where we're going forward and just keep it going. But we are doing this via Zoom today because, pandemic's still rolling strong, like the amok train going down the tracks, or actually more like going off the tracks and taking over the world. Who the fuck knows at this point? But Aaron's at his place. I'm in the studio. Joining us via Zoom are our first set of guests, probably our longest running extended family of the Horror podcast, Mr. Chris and Sarah Samples. They're joining us. Welcome back to the show, guys. It has been way too long since we've been able to have you on.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I haven't seen your face in feels like forever. How you been?
Holding up, man. Holding up. Like I said, it's been way too long. We love miss having you guys in the studio. You guys, like I said, you've been a very big and integral part of the show since pretty much the beginning. And we're going to talk about that. Let's just talk about that now. Chris, you were one of our first guests. You first appeared way back on episode 9 when we did Jason X. And that just started off a great relationship with you and the show. Even though technically it did start off great, the way that episode ended, but it sure made for a great story, which I think we told probably on the 100th episode. But if you did, I'll cover it real quick. Basically, it was the first time we were having Chris on the show. And beforehand, we all went out drinking at a local bar or restaurant here in town. And so we got a little buzz going, and then we went back, okay, let's go record. We come back, and of course, we still continue to drink. So we're just drinking the whole time, drink. Aaron and Chris are getting blitzed, and we do the entire episode of Jason X. We got it, we do it, we think we nailed it. It was great. We thought it was really good. And then in the saving process, I'm trying to get things saved. Chris accidentally unplugs some of the equipment, and we lose the entire episode right then and there. We're like, fuck! That's 2 hours gone. And so well, shit, what do we do now? And Chris, God bless him, was like, let's just redo it. It's my fault. We'll redo it right now. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So roll take 2.
That's when I was like, I think you guys have always been acquaintances. You and Marshall have been acquaintances, but it felt like when Chris was like, let's do it again, Marshall's like, I like this guy.
Gotta take one for the team,
whenever Chris did that, it was like, all right, this guy's definitely, coming back again, because it was a long day.
It was. Yeah. And it just got longer because, like I said, we had started drinking before we even recorded, and then like an hour and a half, 2 episodes in, or an hour and a half of that episode, 2 hours, you're still drinking, gets fucked up, so let's start over again. what more do we do? Let's keep on drinking. So by the time we get to the end of take 2 of Jason X, Aaron and Chris are completely blitzed off our, like, we're just drunken fools. But it was such a fun episode, and just, like I said, just made a great impression and just opened the door, and Chris just never really left. He became part of the family at that point.
Because after that, I mean, Aaron got married, and then I did a lot of those October episodes there.
Yes.
It was just me and Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me and Marshall got to know each other quite well at that point.
And we did, and that's where it kind of helped solidify our friendship.
Yeah, when Marshall was on the shelf too, when he had his surgery, you were the co-host. You and I were running like at least 3 shows, I think, maybe 4.
Exactly, we did. Yeah, 3 or 4.
Speaking of those episodes, like, Chris has been on more episodes than anybody else other than Aaron and I, obviously, on the show. From what I've counted, 27 episodes altogether he's been on.
Wow.
Like I said, starting back with Jason X, and then, like, I wrote everything down because it's quite an impressive list. Starting at episode 23, House is October Built, which that was if we set off on a good foot, that movie probably soured it a bit. But then we moved on to episode 24, Scare Zone, which that was one we recorded actually in your house because we came over there. Yeah. And I also think, if I correct, that was also the first appearance of Sarah. I don't remember if she was on that episode. I forget, but I know you were probably there.
I believe she was. I think it was the 3 of us.
I think she was on Poultrygeist was the first one.
I couldn't remember. Like, she was there. She might have come and gone. She may have been babysitting at the time, watching the kids when we did Scare Zone. But Killer Eye Halloween Haunt, episode 27, 32, Thanksgiving, bonus episode, Christmas Horror Story, episode 40, 976 Evil 2, our first super show. Probably episode 56, Slumber Party Massacre, 69, Lumberjack Man, which was awesome because Chris and Sarah were both on that, and they brought over fucking a tray full of pancakes and maple syrup. It was an awesome episode.
You don't know pancakes, Marshall.
We don't know. Yes, we do not know pancakes. Episode 71, Drainiac. 75, Hallows Eve. 78, Thanksgiving 3. Episode 100, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Dream Child. Episode 107, Sorority Babes and Slimeball Bowl Around. This is where you guys took over for me. 108, 109, and 110 consecutively. Chris took over for all those. Hide and Go Shriek, Zombie Decadence, and Creepazoids. Those were the when I was out and recovering from brain surgery. Followed by 111, Night Something Strings. 115, Santa Claus. 117, Attack of the Killer Donuts. 128, 976 Evil 2. 129, Flesh Eating Mothers. 141, American Fright Fest. Followed by a bonus episode, House is October Built 2, because I just had to torture Chris some more. 150, Death House. 166, Slumber Party Massacre 2. Because he was all and then 178, Zombie Holocaust, aka Dr. Butcher, were all episodes Chris has been on. Some of those have been really iconic episodes. Some of our favorites have been on that list, and we're going to talk about those in a minute. And because I got to do the same for Sarah. Sarah, who joined us with episode 16, or she's been on 16 total episodes. Started with her first appearance, and then I guess officially was on 31. Poultrygeist, which was a great starting off point. And that kind of started off our link with Sarah and musical movies, all the musical horror musical genre. I guess is a weird subgenre, but it's there. She was also in a bonus episode of the Christmas Horror Story. I believe you're on Alice in Murderland with us. Episode 57, Death Spa. Lumberjack Man, 69 again. 79, Shopping Mall. 89, Stage Fright. 100, Nightmare on Elm Street 5. 128, 976 Evil 2. You were there to see Aaron's Drunken Fiasco. Episode 132, Stage Fright, the second one, the 1987 one, I should say. I think it was that one we did second. Episode 139, Killer Workout. 151, Iced. 152, Lasso. And episode 160, Head. And then 179, Rocktober Blood. Again, some classic great episodes in that list. So between the two, they've been a part of a massive majority, like a very large part of our show, which makes them, just
horrible horror family.
Yeah, horror family.
Yeah, right.
A big integral part of the show. And it's been great to have them along for the ride. So looking back on all this, you guys, well, I mean, obviously you were joining us on our 100th episode extravaganza as well. So we did a lot of this then, but since then, a couple more years have passed, another 100 plus episodes, including bonus content and everything. Let's just talk about where, how you've, continued to, just continue to do the episodes and how you're feeling about it and just where some of your favorite moments since then or things that you've, I won't say learned, but some favorite maybe moments or things that really stick out in your head, good, bad, or ever in between since we did this last
Yeah,
time.
like some of your favorite episodes. What was your favorite movie you saw? What was one of the ones that was really sucked that you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, never to watch this again? You know, stuff like that.
Oh, well, guys, I am so glad that I just got hooked on this and that you started asking me to do this and that you peg me for all of like the glorious 80s movies that I never would have watched. So I think what I've learned is that there's this whole beautiful subgenre that I knew was out there, but I didn't know how much I would love watching total shit. And I do. So that's been great. And man, just some of the episodes that we've done were just so much fun. Like it was so much fun. And when I listened to you guys, it was fun. But being there and talking about this craziness, like some of the things that, like in Poultry Guys, I never thought that I would have to talk about killer zombie chickens, like peeling people's faces off and talking about eating the skin and people blowing up in bathrooms and
Oh yeah,
all kinds of great stuff. Man, it's been really good. Robot Blood in Chopping Mall. Do you know how many times I've watched Chopping Mall since that episode? Like, I have to say there have been so many good times, especially like when we all gather together and like drink for a marathon of a day. That's really fun. But watching Chris and Aaron get wasted next to us, I think my favorite episode, however, that we did was Killer Workout. That one still lives as one of my favorites because not only was it like just the craziest movie, we all loved it, and Aaron cried. Like we were laughing so hard while we recorded that Aaron was crying like the limp asparagus. And
That's Death Spa. That was Death Spa.
oh, that was Death Spa. Killer Workout. Never mind. I didn't like Killer Workout. You guys liked Killer Workout because of all the ass and titties, I think. And constant fighting.
that movie was insane.
Killer Workout had
Killer Workout
had the crazy soundtrack though. The songs from Killer Workout were amazing, and it was so 80s. But yeah, the Loved Asparagus, that was Death Spa, and that one was that's
right.
A
Death
great
Spa.
episode.
Sorry,
Hilarious.
Death Spa was Death Spa. Forgive me. You guys just took me on a musical merry-go-round of my past, I guess. But yeah, Death Spa, that has to be my favorite, just because I don't know. I felt like we went to a new level when we were together.
It's actually probably one of our best episodes. I remember it. It was just because it was such an insane movie, and it was just so easy to laugh at. And I think we were just all firing on all cylinders. That was a good one. Chris, what about you? You got like a favorite one that you've done?
Yeah.
Man, I think my favorite, Slumber Party Massacre. That was one of my favorite movies to watch and to talk about. I really enjoyed that. And then even on the cusp of sorority, Slimeball, Bolorama, like that movie was just the tits. You know what I mean? It's just off its rocker, crazy weird. I love that whole kind of 80s genre type of stuff like that. I mean, there was some duds in between, but I mean, those are the two that really stick out. You think about like Killer Donuts, that one. Marshall just brought that up, and just thinking about that movie again. Just see Thomas Howell was in that movie.
Yeah.
You know, like weird, just crazy shit.
You were so mad during that movie.
Yeah.
Like, you were so mad during.
But
I hate this movie.
But honestly, just being able to like be a part of it, like I said, being able to fill in and help you guys out to make this happen and like continue on for up to 200 episodes. I mean, that's a huge milestone. I'm just very proud to be able to do that, be a part of it. So
yeah, man, you helped out quite a bit. I mean, just also not only with Marshall being gone, but like you guys both. You opened up your house to us. You've brought food. We've went on a run with Sarah. You know, we've done a lot of different things with you guys in Horrible Horror. So it's not just, you know, episodes here and there. It's beyond that. Again, we've already beat it about the head and shoulders, but family, you know, I mean, it's very much that feeling.
I mean, Chris.
So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, Chris is also did years ago when we started out. We did that bar crawl putt thing that we just drink it all day and playing putt. We did that, and then
That was awesome.
that was a lot of fun. And then there was I'm forgetting it already. What the fuck? There's something else. It was a big thing. I can't remember what the hell it was. Fuck me. All right.
The con in Knoxville.
Yeah. He came to the con.
Oh, yeah.
He helped us. He came all the way down to the way we did CreepyCon down in Knoxville, Tennessee last year, and they support us. They came to our first live show, and I guess only live. You guys were there, and honestly, you came and helped out even at you came and checked out the second contamination. You were, after my surgery, you were there for a while helping out. So yeah, it's been a big part of it. But like I said, I will say you've been part of some great episodes, some wonderful ones with the villains. But you've also, other than Aaron, you have been exposed to some of the worst shit we've put you through. Probably more so than Sarah. I mean, look at movies like Santa Claus and Drainiac were some of the worst movies. And then, even though production-wise, they're probably not considered the worst, but for us personally, I think we've still been kind of scarred by the whole House is October Built series. Like, you and I have bonded over that one. Just some of the, so you've seen some more shit than pretty much anybody else on the show. So, but you still come back, and that's why we love you. So you put up with it.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
So, man, it's just, and then actually, Zombie Holocaust. Though that was actually your pick. That was the one you wanted to do that. So like, you know what? Of course, let's Chris have a movie. He's definitely earned it, and that was a wild ride too, man. That was
Marshall hated it.
Zombie Holocaust was a fun one, but I gotta say, it's like I liked it when it was called Zombies vs. Strippers. I think that's what it was originally.
No, that's Zombie
called.
Decadence. Zombie Decadence is Zombies vs. Strippers. Zombie Holocaust was AKA Dr.
Right.
Butcher.
Yes.
Oh.
Damn it, you're right. God damn.
Yeah, Zombie Holocaust was the Italian guy. What?
I forget, but that's the one
the
that on the
director.
island and cannibals and
Yeah.
weird zombies, and it was a gore fest movie.
But-
Was it Felucci or was it
The
Felucci?
director was it was Felucci-esque, I believe. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was the same guy that directed. Oh man, what's the Ripper one? The one you guys did.
Oh no, that
New
one
York
was
Ripper.
Felucci. That one was Felucci. That was Felucci.
Well,
He did New York
there's
Ripper,
Felucci and then Dario Argento or something like that, or
Yeah.
I think it was Dario Argento.
get mixed up.
I think
So I
You know, we could look it up, but fuck it.
Fuck it, we're not going
I'm
to.
looking it up right now.
To the Google.
I like how Chris is like that. He's like, he's got to find out, you know.
Yeah.
But I like that, and yeah, I have to agree. I think that we did subject Chris to more of the crap than Sarah, and I don't know if that's just a numbers game or just because Marsha mentioned before, we do kind of go to Sarah for like the more musical ones, like Poultrygeist, Stage Fright, you know, those kind of movies. So they tend to be a little more fun, you know, campy, what have you. So maybe she just hasn't had as much exposure as some of the crap.
Yeah, although I
But
did.
you guys,
Go ahead, Sarah.
you
Go ahead.
guys forget though that I live with Chris and that we're married. So he watched these movies and then got to talk about them. I just watched them and like subjected myself to them anyway. I was like, oh, horrible horror. And then I never got to like express my anger, my serious anger over some of the, like and I've had a lot of different opinions. Like you guys loved Thanksgiving. I hated Thanksgiving.
Really?
I hated those movies.
Well, this is a
Yes!
good opportunity to vent those grievances in. So, what movies
Yeah.
have you disagreed on? Do you want to comment on now that you didn't get a chance and you wish you could have been a part of the episode? Let it go. This is your stage.
Guys, okay, this is a big one. And you know, it's not that I don't like it. I think, was I on it or not? Okay. it's this controversial statement. Killer Eye, Halloween Haunt.
Oh no! No, not Halloween Haunt.
Guys, you love that movie, and I'm like, this. I mean, I love talking about the movie, but you guys sincerely love it. Like, you guys want to watch it all the time, and I'm like, no, like, it's not a party without the jizz, or what?
Yeah, right, it's not.
We love that movie so much that we found the movie within the movie and did that one too.
Yep.
Well,
And then we-
Killer Eye.
And then we found the movie
That was
within the movie
Killer
within a
Eye.
movie because we did Creepazoid.
That's
We
right.
did
Creepazoid.
we did the entire Killer Eye trilogy, if you want to call it, all the weird
Yeah.
layers, the inception of Killer Eye, if you will.
But wasn't it just me and Aaron that did Creepazoids?
I think.
Yes.
Let me look at it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I might have been there.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I know you guys did that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was just there in the
that's when you were
background.
out.
But yeah, I might have just been sitting at the table listening. But that was one when you guys were. That's when I was out on that.
Man, Creepazoids is so good too. That was a great movie.
Well, if you think Creepazoid, here's something for you. Combine two of your favorite movies. You just talk about. You want to go watch Zombie Decadence Part 2, the follow-up to Zombie Decadence. You're basically just going to watch Creepazoids again because that's exactly what it is. Full Moon is
Nice.
they filmed some bullshit like security monitor footage of a strip club at the very beginning, and then it cuts to like
Yeah.
outside, and they just play all the Creepazoids in its entirety again, and slapped a new name on
Really?
it. So another
Yeah.
Full Moon antic, but there you go.
That's so shitty. I love hate that when they do that, because
Yeah.
when do we know if there is going to be a sequel to Zombie Decadence or Zombie vs. Strippers? Well, it looks like there is, and then you're watching Creepazoids.
Well, yeah,
Ah.
I found out because I was like, oh, we should do Zombie Decadence 2 on the show. We'll have Chris back on. We'll do it. I'm watching like, what the fuck? This is just Creepazoids. Like, fuck, we're not doing
Yeah.
I can't do this now. We can't do this. So yeah, that's how I.
Well, there's been a couple
unfortunately,
times where I've looked at that full moon on Shudder or whatever. It's like you get that full moon, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh man. And it was Zombie Decadence, but they renamed it Zombie vs. Strippers or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, it's a different one. No, it's the exact same movie. They do it all the time.
All
with
the
their
time.
Stuff, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Watch out for that full moon. It's they're tricky.
they're
Trying to
Hall
get
of
that money.
Famers though.
Trying to get that money.
My heart still
They're
aches.
doing shit like that.
My heart still aches. I can't get over Sarah not liking Halloween Haunt.
Yeah,
Like, there's something about me that.
that does bother me.
I think it's not that I hate it. You guys like love it. Like Chris is like, this is going into our Halloween
Yeah,
routine.
rotation.
And I'm like, oh, okay, the routine. Yeah, the rotation. I'm like, okay.
Uh-huh.
I'll watch it again, please.
It's like every Halloween, it's Killer Eye, Halloween Haunt, Night of the Living Dead, the original, one of the variation of an Evil Dead movie, one of the three. I don't really care which one, and then whatever else we can find if we, So definitely.
I mean, it's great. I mean, Halloween Haunt, Killer Halloween Haunt, it's only like an hour long too, so it's not even that long. You can
It's not.
skip through that real quick.
It's
But-
like an appetizer of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, are there any boobs in that movie, or do they just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
allude to boobs?
Oh no, there's
Is it
boobs.
just that one scene where she's like mesmerizing
Yeah,
the crystal ball
Yeah.
with her. Okay, it's just that. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I watched it a lot. I don't want to hear it.
I think there might be a little more in there than that, but yeah, there's there's boobs in that movie for sure. But yeah,
There's
but
the Boxer Bros.
that's the original Killer Eye, has the Boxer Bros in it.
Oh,
yes.
okay, that's right. Okay, sorry.
Boxer Bros.
But
They
I mean,
might
half
not-
of Killer
I think they
Eye
make-
is in Halloween Haunt.
Yeah, they make a cameo appearance on the TV screen in Halloween Haunt, but that's pretty much the Killer Eye. But as far as Sarah, like I said, we're gonna go back like what's that? You are not just the musicals, but you're also the workout movies. Like I said, that's why you got Death Spa and Killer Workout confused, because we had you on as on the for the workout related horror movies as well as the musical ones, which have been fun. It's both stage fright movies were a lot of fun to do with the music, and we had that was one. I think both of those movies was just you and me though on the two stage fright ones. Those was just us.
Yeah, it was. We both did the stage fright, and the first one was so much fun. Like that was that was so.
Was that the one with Meatloaf?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the one with
Meatloaf
Meatloaf. That one was really, really fun to talk about, and you played a lot of musical clips, which was great. The second one was so weird. Like was that was the one that had the guy in the bird suit, right?
Yes,
big
the
bird
owl,
costume?
the giant
Yeah,
owl
the
head.
owl. That was so. It was kind of creepy, but that one. That was a weird one. No, I love being on the musical episodes, and often you guys talk about like musical references and stuff. And I don't know, those 80s movies that you just had, I don't know, the soundtracks are just seriously something to talk about sometimes. So I don't know, it's worth it. It adds to the
And that's
ambiance.
definitely why I keep you in mind for those. Like the ones with the great soundtracks. Death Spell is not bad, but really the two. Other than the Stage Fright movie with Meatloaf, the other ones that stand out the most with the really great soundtracks were Killer Workout, which you say you didn't care for, but the music was incredible, and Rocktober Blood, which was another heavy musical influence one. Both
the
those.
music in both of those, that music was in my head for weeks
Yes.
and weeks. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, and you talk about musical too, like
that,
Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Oh God, yeah, that one gets stuck in your head.
I know Aaron.
Oh,
Aaron
that one-
loves that soundtrack.
Aaron's downloaded the entire soundtrack to that movie.
So
I hate to say
I've
I
got
have
the two
too.
Wednesday weeks. I've got the 2 Wednesday week songs and that song "Let's Buzz."
Yeah.
Actually, I think is a song that's been played a lot because there's several different artists, like a lot of like blues, rock blues kind of guys. There's several different versions of that song, "Let's Buzz." So I'm guessing it's
weird.
it's an actual song that, you know, like a lot of barfly bands kind of, you know, played. If you look up "Let's Buzz," you'll find a shit ton of different artists performing that same song.
I had no idea about
That's
that.
awesome.
None whatsoever.
That's great.
The music in that was it was something else in that movie, man. It totally changes that movie's dynamic completely from something serious to almost a comical spoof of the first one.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Wednesday Week not getting as much recognition for their songs that were used thoroughly in the movies.
But why, Aaron? Why?
Because they rock, man. Because those are catchy songs.
Tokyo Convertible, yeah, it's catchy. But I tried to drop a reference there. The main song they sing in that movie is called "Why." So
Yeah. Oh, wow. You need to sing it next time.
You don't want me singing. You don't want me
Not really.
singing. So you don't want that. But as far as so, have there been any movies you guys, whether ones you haven't been on, maybe it's not episodes you've been on, but are any particular episodes or movies from those episodes that you've I guess kind of looked at as either become a favorite of yours, or if something other than what you already talked about, or is there one that you stand out as you remember being a lot better than you thought it was, like surprised you, whether it's better than you thought it would be, or it's way worse than you expected? Like you thought it was gonna be good, turned out to suck, or the opposite of that?
Well, one that I was on that I thought was going to be terrible that I actually thought was pretty good, Drainiac. Didn't I like that movie?
No, we hated that movie. I thought we hated that one. I'm pretty sure we hated that one. I know I did. I don't.
Yeah,
maybe you
I know
did.
you did.
Okay, I could be wrong. Are you
I
sure?
thought
you
I
did?
liked it. Maybe I didn't.
It doesn't have to be ones you were on. Like if there's something else, like any other episode.
Right.
But yeah. Okay, maybe you did like Drainiac. I could have sworn you hated that movie too.
Well, you would know. You keep notes. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
unfortunately, I don't know if I have your response for Drainiac in front of me.
Marshall has an archive of all of the "Who Says So Bad It's Good" and "So Bad It's Scary" like written down. You actually have
It's
physical
incomplete.
copies.
Yes, I've been going back and making that, trying to complete that list, but that is, I just looked at it, that's one I don't have yet. I haven't gone back. I have to go back and get the answers to some of these, but I haven't started keeping an archive list of what we say, because it helps when it comes, like it really helps when it comes back, when we do Back from the Dead episodes, and when we get to the Horrible Horror March movie madness tournament of awfulness helps
Yeah.
with that. So it's just nice to have a record. But yeah. What about you, Sarah? Anything stuff for you?
Yeah, I naively go into every episode assignment feeling really like pumped, like this is gonna be so good and awful, and then when it really is terrible, it's disappointing. So I can't say that there are any that really surprised me because I'm always like, come on, good stuff. I will say that I wasn't on the original 967 Evil, but I watched it with Chris and I liked it, and you guys all didn't like it.
We were split.
No, I like that one.
Oh,
It
you
was a
liked
split.
it. Okay. But I was like, oh, okay. So then when I was asked to be on the 967 Evil 2, I was like, I'm gonna love this movie, and it was terrible.
Oh,
It
completely
was so
disagree.
fun to talk about. It was so fun. It was like one of the best episodes. I think it was just to be on because we were all together and it was just a shit show.
It was indeed a shit show. We had
Yeah,
like
why was it a
5
shit show, Aaron?
I don't remember why it
Because
was.
I made
such a shit-
Jello shots and I ate half of them before I got there.
Oh, those were some rough Jello shots too. Those
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They were strong.
Yeah, that was.
I
It
They were
also,
doubles.
we also had 5 people on that episode, I believe. There was 5 of us,
Yeah.
so there was a lot going
Yeah.
on in that episode.
Yeah.
And then one
But
drunk ass Aaron.
And I think too, like the fact that you guys gave me, I always go back to Poultrygeist, but the fact that you guys gave me such a crazy movie to start with, I was like, all the movies are going to be this crazy, right? Because that movie is nutso. Like it's just every fart, dick, poop joke you can think of. Sex, songs. I mean, they insult everyone in that stupid movie. And then there's zombies, chickens. And I don't know. I feel like I impressed you a little bit on that episode because I mean, I feel like you were kind of trying to gauge the waters, trying to figure out where I
Yeah, we had to
stood
see if
on-
you sink
on
or swim.
crap
We,
like
you know,
that.
we get you one of the worst movies we could find at the time, crazy movie. We throw you in the deep end, see if you sink or swim, and yeah, it was a little
awesome.
test. It was a test.
It was,
Pass,
was awesome.
pass the flying colors.
Yeah, he did. A couple of movies I want to talk about with you, though, Sarah, real quick, that you've been on with, and they were just. There were three. 2 of them were back to back, but let's say 3 episodes. That again, it was just you and me. Episodes 151, 152. We started with Iced, and then Lasso were 2 very different movies. And I kind of felt like the same way. Like Iced was horrible, but ended up like I think you ended up liking it in a bit way. And then Lasso just blew, that was one that surprised me. Like how is a fucking cowboy rodeo horror movie gonna be good? And it's trying to be awesome. And then 161 was that like Poltergeist, probably certainly one of the most original and unique movies we ever did, but kind of felt was the puppet movie Head. It was basically with Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
So-
weird.
That
Yeah.
was a weird movie. I will say that's probably the worst movie that we reviewed, only because we didn't really have anything to say about it. It was so blah.
Yeah.
It wasn't, we were just like, I mean, we get it, why you guys did it. It could have been better. Like it wasn't funny. It wasn't so terrible that we could make it funny to even
Right.
talk about.
I 100% agree. That was a hard
fun.
one. I remember going through that with you, and like this
Yeah.
was like it was like a hard movie and hard episode to get through. Like just because I mean,
Yeah.
the movie wasn't long. I think it wasn't like a 2-hour movie, so it wasn't like endurance or anything. It was just it didn't really give
It was
us
like
much.
15 minutes.
Yeah, it gave us really nothing to work with, and it's like, okay, once you get past now to be a puppet, it's kind of well, now what do we have to talk about? And it was
Yeah,
a very
I've-
hard one
I've-
to get through.
I've listened to that episode, and it sounds like you guys were talking about. They never went for it. You got fucking puppets. Let's go
know.
crazy, get a little bit insane with the gore, or the jokes, or the sex, and they kind of did they flirted with it, but they never went all in because you have to go all in if you're doing a puppet horror movie right off the bat. Everyone is expecting that, and they didn't deliver it.
Right, 100% agree.
Kind of like Thanksgiving 3.
Man, that movie.
Well, they delivered, but in a really weird way.
That was so weird.
We just did that. I think we did that, talk about that again. Our most recent Back from the Dead episode, where that was one. I think where we both ended up flip-flopping our original I guess, judgments on the movie, and we had to change it from I think so bad it was scary to so bad it's good, just because we were looking at it from like kind of looking back with a different, I guess, different glasses on, if you will, different viewpoint of the movie. But that one was a trip and a half. Like that's one, like if you were high or on shrooms, my God, I think your head would have exploded on that one. Like you it would probably melt your mind. God damn, that was yeah. Tell me your thoughts and what you remember about that one, Chris. Like what that.
Well, I mean, wasn't there like a puppet vagina or something in that too? I mean, like, didn't she come out of a
brain? I think,
dude.
I don't remember.
There was oh man, just the puppet to human connection there. That was bonkers. She's in the worm, the little puppet worm.
Oh yeah, the worm.
The puppet worm came out of somebody's butt, didn't it? Didn't it like go up into a butt, a robot butt or something? Like
I'm trying to remember this movie.
I think that's how it turned on. It's like warp dimensional system was
the warp. Yeah.
Its butthole with its worm body.
Or something like that. I've kind of, locked that movie away. It's just bits and pieces that I can remember because it was so freaking bonkers. Just bonkers. So, sorry.
Okay. I've
we were
only seen
pretty
it once,
drunk.
I remember I only saw the movie once, but I just remember it was so nuts. I remember a lot from it. It's pretty ridiculous. But I think we all said it was so bad it was scary at the time because it really wasn't a horror movie so much as it was just I don't know what the fuck you call it, man. It was just a weird ass movie that was, it had horror elements, but it had sci-fi elements and very trippy, dippy, meta kind of.
It had very few horror elements. I think it had like a guy wearing like some. I think it was like some super patriotic dude wearing like a American flag cape or.
No, remember they went down to hell.
Yeah.
And they had to go down there and find. Man, I don't remember now, but there was
Mopey's brain. Yeah, her brain. She was looking for her brain because she lost her mind.
Yeah. Right. And if Thanksgiving the original was off the deep end, I mean they just took a flying leap off the cliff into the unknown, a bottomless vortex of nothing, and just said, "Okay, here we go."
Yeah.
Man.
I kind of want to watch it again now.
Well, yeah, didn't they reference Evil Dead because didn't like the turkey like get his dick cut off and then they replaced it with like a
chainsaw.
With a chainsaw.
Yeah, oh my God, I forgot about that. The chainsaw dick.
How do I remember this, guys?
He killed Flois, the disgusting grandma rapper puppet.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, she was disgusting.
Fucked her through the chest with it, and it was really graphic. Man, such a weird movie.
So weird.
But if you're gonna do puppets, you better go all out.
Yeah.
They did.
You better get weird.
Yeah.
You better get weird.
So that's a good way to connect it. Like put Thanksgiving 3 as weird as it was, and even Thanksgiving 1, like it was a puppet, and they went all out. They did it right, and they made it over the top and crazy.
I got a really quick question. How did Coors Light become the unofficial beer of Horrible Horror?
Speaking of which, here's my Coors Light. I'm popping it right now because I had to get my Coors Light ready for Chris because I couldn't have a Coors Light. So
I just finished mine, Marshall. I'm sorry.
All of you folks can't see it, but Chris is wearing a Coors Light shirt right now too, just randomly.
That is random. I did not plan that.
I know. Like, we live in St. Louis, and it's like Budweiser everywhere, Anheuser-Busch everywhere. We're just like, nope, we're gonna drink Coors Light. It's the silver bullet, baby.
I don't know. I swear, I wish we get Coors Light to sponsor the show, man. As much Coors Light we probably drink on the show all the time, but yeah, Coors Light has kind of become the unofficial beer, the official unofficial, I guess, beer of Horrible Horror.
Yeah, it's very light. If you drink it ice cold, it's delicious.
Yeah,
but don't get me wrong, it's not like my favorite beer ever, but it's like the most common beer. I think you're right, Marshall. It's the official beer of Horrible Horror.
Yeah.
Well, the price is right, and like you said, ice cold, delicious.
Yeah. And it goes down smooth. And I think when we were sitting here for a few hours talking, I just want something that goes down smooth I can drink without having too many issues with.
I see
And in a couple hours, me and
though.
Aaron can. In a couple hours, me and Aaron can polish off at least a 12-pack, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, easy.
I've seen you guys do it several times on the show. It's been
Me
witnessed.
Yeah, I am a witness.
Oh, man. But yeah, that's actually pretty funny, the Coors Light thing. And so I don't know really what else. We just want to keep this really kind of loose today, guys. But again, of
I
course,
want to say, Marshall,
go ahead.
I listened to the 200th episode.
oh
and
boy,
I'm
here we
very
go.
proud of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very proud of you
thank you.
for putting down your hatred for that movie and actually giving it a serious look at.
Yes.
I
Thank you.
kind of agree with your thoughts, but I gotta agree with Aaron saying it's so bad it's good. I do enjoy that movie. It's fun. It's a little different twist, and I do wish that they had done more of what he wanted to do as far as an anthology type of thing went. I think that would have been really cool, even though Michael Myers is, one of the
Iconic.
Yeah.
icons of the horror industry. But had he been able to do the anthology series, I would be really curious to see what Halloween 3 actually would have been. So, but I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thank you. It was. I tried to do my best.
Aside.
I did. I tried to put my hatred aside and try to look at it from fresh perspective, or at least more, just a difference. Like I know what I'm going into. Let's try to be open minded. Still didn't like it, and I shared my views. I was honest as I could be on the
Because
episode.
honestly, I never thought that would have happened. I never thought it would have happened, and it's been like an inside joke. Halloween 3, fuck that movie, Aaron.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it has.
So-
It's been a long going rivalry. That
Yeah.
movie's, like I said, it's been my nemesis for years. Like it was just it was my, I don't know if you want to say my Macho Man to my Hulk Hogan or something like that, or something like that. Like just going back and forth that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
Oh,
say, as far as the anthology goes, I do think you're right. Like it'd been interesting to see what would happen with that. Would Michael Myers still been around, become an icon? I don't know. And that would have been sad to lose such a iconic character. But I think that what fucked him was from making it work originally was making Halloween 2.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah.
I think if they would have done Michael Myers Halloween and then gone straight into the anthology, it might have worked better that way. But having 1 and 2 and establishing Michael Myers in 2 movies and then getting rid of him at the third, I think that's what really, I forgot to mention that on the show, but I think that's what was one of the things that just sunk that anthology thing before it even got off the ground. It just
Absolutely.
establish them and then you get rid of them. If you did just one movie,
Well, you get
you've been like, okay, and you kill him off. He gets shot 6 times, falls off the balcony. Okay, boom, he's dead. You don't have him get up and go away or whatever. Just kill him off, and then you don't have to.
I like it if he got up and go away because he could still be out there.
Right, but I'm saying-
you just end it. Then you just end it. Just end it. Yeah.
Right, and I agree. I love the ending of the first one, but I think that's, again, it opened the door for a second, which they basically forced Carpenter to do by showing copious amounts of cash in, which I don't blame him for either.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they would not, if Halloween 2 never existed, I think the anthology may have worked better, or at least
I agree.
see more come from it. But who knows?
Absolutely.
So now that we're
And you
kind of
guys touched
winding
on
down,
that in the episode.
yeah, now that we're kind of
Go ahead.
winding down here, I'm kind of curious if there's any movies on the horizon or anything that you've seen or anything you guys want to be part of, because Marshall and I, we're doing this socially distanced as best as possible during these weird times. But, with a Zoom call, we still might be able to squeeze, have you guys on again. Anything that's piqued your interest or any type of movie that you'd be interested in doing?
It's a good question.
Always open for suggestion. With being home, and we have 2 small kids, it's harder and harder to do any research and watch horror movies. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know how it
they're
is,
just
man.
not quite there yet. Haven't done an episode since last year some point. Would you say the last one was 170?
Yeah, 178. The zombie Holocaust. If I have my notes correct, that's the last one.
Yeah, that was the last
Yeah.
one I believe I did. So always open for suggestion, and if this works, then that's cool. You know what I mean? Because we could easily watch a movie at some point and make it work. But
No, I feel your pain on that because I'm trying to find movies for future episodes myself. Trying to go for it. It's very hard because like you have 2 old kids. I'm at home with my 3-year-old all the time, and I'm not able to just preview movies, just watch them to get things lined up. It's like I'm so far behind. So like the last few episodes. And probably the next 2 are just coming from listener suggestions that they're like, you know what, you want to do it? All right, done. Because I don't have time to go through and try to search out like I used to and find ones, which is very frustrating. Very, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's sad. It sucks.
What do you guys think about doing a good one? Doing a good movie.
I don't know. Having Sarah on for a good one, it seems like just doesn't ever. I don't know. It doesn't right. Sarah in good movies is.
I know that's not your thing. I know that's not your thing, but I mean, I'd watch a good movie. I don't, I don't have a lot of time to watch movies. So, although again, I have to go back to say that some of a good majority of the movies that you guys have had me on, I've thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, I have to say that most of them, I've said they're so bad they're good. So. I enjoyed very much being, like you were talking about some of the last episodes that we were on, just Marshall and I together, where we did Iced with Wednesday Addams, Grown Up Wednesday Addams.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Wednesday.
You saw a full-on bush nudity of Grown Up Wednesday Addams, and that was so
Wednesday
weird.
Addams.
It was so weird.
Her nipples were so tight. I remember that. I can't remember my children's birthday, but I remember Wednesday Addams. Thank you guys. That's how you've changed my life. But I really liked then doing Lasso because I normally don't get to do newer movies with a lot of CGI and stuff like that in it. And so that movie, I actually got to, see a lot of like new CGI and things like that. And they did a really good, I was really impressed by how they used that. So I wouldn't mind trying to get into some newer movies too, but I do love the 80s. I mean, there is just something about the 80s. I can't get out of it. I'm living in the 80s,
I
baby.
still feel like there's some good 80s stuff we can squeeze out.
Oh yeah.
We can squeeze out like Society, Castle Freak, Basket Case. There's a nice
Basket Case 2. I've been wanting to do Head of the Family for a long time, but it's really hard to find. I think if I fork out the money for the Full Moon subscription, I think it's on there, but I just don't know if I can fork out more money for another subscription.
So there's still quite a few of those good schlocky 80s movies. The original Troll we never did. So I mean we've got those. And I think if we're going to do those movies, which I'm sure we will at some point, I want to make sure we have you guys on.
There's 2 movies I've been thinking about lately that they're not new by any sense of the word now. They actually would be considered pretty old, but they're not 80s either. I haven't watched them in probably like 20 plus years or close to it, but I've been thinking, because Aaron was always talking about wanting to do more sci-fi horror on the show, and there's very few of those. And then it came to me the other day, I was like, oh my God, I need to go back and revisit Event Horizon with Sam O'Neill and that's a creepy ass. That one I'd maybe do. And then also another franchise one that I've never really delved much into. I think I watched the first one as a teenager, but never really didn't care for it at the time or didn't understand it. But going back and look at maybe the Wishmaster series, like the first Wishmaster movie. I know that was a big one. So those are something we could maybe look into. And then like Terrifier, I hear a lot about lately. I haven't seen that one either yet. Or if you want to do an 80s movie, one I've been wanting to do on the show, but it's probably considered good, so I keep putting it off. But The Prowler is an 80s movie that I would like to do on the show at some point as well. So those are ones we might be, keeping the can for future reference.
I like that.
So
I like it.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up for now because, like I said, we just want to keep this loose and we don't want to take away too much time of every. So, but again, I want to say big heartfelt thank you for you guys for your involvement in the show over the years. A lot of it could have been done without you, obviously, with when you guys filling in for Aaron or myself when we can't be around. It's meant the world to me. Because of this, my friendship with you guys has grown, and you become an extension not just the show's family, but my family as well. And for that, I will always cherish that. And that's always been very important to me. No matter what happened to the show, is that my relationship with you guys I will get that, that came out of this show. So that's been great. So on my behalf, thank you very much. I love you guys and look forward to getting you back on here. And once this pandemic is over, finally getting you guys back in the studio or just out the bars and, drinking some Coors Light and eating some Jefferson's wings or doing something together.
Absolutely. You guys are all right.
Well, we love you guys too, man. It's been a trip. It's been a fun ride, and we look forward to 200 more, right?
Yeah, 200 more. Exactly.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
Oh, we'll see. That's going to be a long road. But, hey, yeah, 200, man. We finally fucking did it, and that's been awesome. So, again, thank you very much, guys. I love having you. It's good seeing you. You guys take care. You guys listen home. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a break here, and then we're going to bring in some more guests. We have some more people coming on. So stay tuned. Chris and Sarah, thank you very much, and we will talk to you very soon, I hope.
All right, gentlemen. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Ho! Hey, folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to Horrible Horror. Tough guy, so bad, it's scary.
All right, we're back. This is part 2 of our 200th episode spectacular. I guess it's part 2 of the part 2, really. You heard Chris and Sarah Samples on, and now joining us 2 more guests. From the hosts of your second favorite podcast, the Dukes of Spook themselves. I don't know why I had such a delay there. But anyway, Nachos McWare, Cincinnati Jeff from Here Comes the Spooky Podcast. They're joining us. Welcome, boys. Thank you for it's been great to have you on.
What the fuck you doing?
Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy, hoy. Aaron, as we record this, some of you, I guess by the time you listen to this, it's not going to be live anymore. But Aaron is also currently live on our Instagram page because we are about ready to do our 200th episode giveaway. We're about to draw the winner of that. So
I'm currently live on Instagram, and it's so I got to keep talking because if anybody actually does tune in, like I said, who knows?
We may maybe turn into this at all. So we will eventually pull the winner of our giveaway out of the hat.
What we're doing is we're pulling the winner of our Horrible Horror 200th episode giveaway. We had 56 entries. I have all the entries in this hat cut up, their name. If you went ahead and you just tagged more than one person, that was another entry. No one went too ham. I think the most one person did was 7. So he got his name put in there 7 times. So that's pretty cool. And welcome to 82 Zombie. So we're going to go ahead and do the drawing now. I didn't tell anybody I was going to go live.
We didn't advertise. Aaron just kind of dropped this on me out of nowhere, so I have no idea. And everyone's listening live can't even hear what I'm saying right now. But I had no idea that he was going to do live right now. So this is going to be.
We'll find out. I mean, and for people who are watching, if you hear me pause, it's because we're doing the podcast right now. Yeah. So enough talk, more rock. I'm going to go ahead and pick. I hope this records so I can actually post it. So here we go. So. Thank you again for everybody who submitted, but here we go. The person who is going to walk around with our 200th episode.
Yes. For those. Okay, I was going to say.
You just interrupted me right when
I was going to fucking say, what they're winning again. But fuck it. All right, who cares now? Let's go ahead.
Okay, so here we go. The person that won is Hoff Krab. Hoff Krab is the name of the person who won. Hoff Krab, congratulations. We will get a hold of you. You guys couldn't hear it, but Marshall interrupted me right before I was about to do this, so thanks a lot, pal.
You want to take Hoff 2? You want to do it over again? Interrupt him again?
Congratulations, Hoff Krab.
You just won a stack of movies and a couple of beer koozies.
All right, so you won a handful of 5 movies. You also won the beer koozie, so I'm going to get a hold of you, and thank you so much for doing it. Boom.
Yes.
What a lucky treat. They get that one stabbed in the face.
Yes, indeed. They get stabbed in the face.
And fucking the wood.
So I went ahead and saved the video so I can edit it and put it up there.
All right. Good job. All right, back to the show. Back to why we're our self-indulgence, if you will. We'll pat ourselves on the back for getting to 200 episodes because probably nobody else cares, but we do. So yeah, we brought on Nachos McWare and Cincinnati Jeff from Here Comes the Spooky podcast. We actually met them and became friends with them before they started the podcast. So they came on, did a few episodes with us, and have since then become really good friends with them. We hang out with them all the time.
Yeah.
We have this ongoing like 4-way text chat thing going on that we're just constantly throwing shit at each other. So it's been fun, but deep down they are also horror fans. They've been part of the show, and I think going forward it's going to be a really good partnership, and it'll be a bigger part of our show as we go forward into the future. But like I said, we have Nachos McWerewolf and Cincinnati Jeff. So boys, how are you finally getting us actually? Only get you guys. How are you guys doing today? Thank you for joining us.
We're doing really good. And let me just say congratulations on the 200 episodes.
Yes, congratulations, dudes.
We love being friends with you guys. We love that we've got this like friendship going. And we also, first and foremost, we're fans. I meant what I said when I gave you guys that letter, like we love this show. We love being a part of it. I get excited sometimes when like Marshall, like last minute's like, I need somebody to come over here and talk about Intruder. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. I was supposed to like go to a christening, but I'd much rather do it.
They're putting my grandma down. They're getting ready to pull the plug. I know how this story is. Let's go talk about Intruder. Fuck this.
So thank you.
I forgot the Intruder. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are definitely huge horror fans. You're big time horror fans. Marshall and I were very much casual horror fans when we started this, but you guys have been balls deep for quite some time.
Oh yeah.
I
like a horror movie.
Yeah, so much for that. I think when we first met Nachos, if I remember correctly, I think we first met him way back years ago, and I wouldn't remember this at the time. It wasn't until we later down the road, but I believe he got introduced to us at the very first Contamination horror sci-fi convention in St. Louis, where we had a booth there, and he just came up to the table like, "Hey, I'll check you guys out," or something like that. Is that correct? Am I missing something there?
That's the power of flyers, man. You guys had those like 8x10, little glossy deals, and I was like, well, what would these guys do? It's like horror movie podcast. It's like, man, I've been talking about doing a horror movie podcast for like 20 years or whatever, and I just took this flyer.
Podcasts were a thing.
Right? I was like,
he invented podcasts.
I was like 6 years old, and I'm like, man, these conversations we're having about horror movies, let's like record them and make them happen.
20 years ago, you were 6?
I don't know.
Math.
Yeah.
Are you allergic to it?
So our booth babe,
breakfast, so I don't want to hear your bullshit too.
Our booth babe actually paid off then, because she was handing out the flyers at that. So I guess she actually paid off. So
little story about the booth babe. So
yeah, we had a booth babe at the first con.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we had our first con. We hired this girl to like hang out with us, wear our shirt, and pass things out. And she's supposed to be a pretty girl who shakes her moneymaker and gets people over to our table. So when Marshall's like did all the hiring and stuff, and I'm like, how old is this fucking girl? Because we're drinking beers, we're getting sloshed, and she's like, yeah, I'm 21. She never said she was 21, but she kind of hinted at it. And then later found out, like, we were at a restaurant, we took lunch, we went to a local bar, not too far away from the place, and we just had it's just burgers and beers, and she's drinking beers with us, and then I'm just like, the lady didn't ask her ID, but I'm thinking, oh shit. Then I found out she's like 19 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's Ellie from Halloween 3, pretty much. Just like, how old is she?
I look older than I look. I'm more than I look. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I asked her, I'm like, how old are you? She goes, I'm older than I look. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because night one, like, we were fine. Like, okay, we're doing drinking. But day 2 came like, you know what? Let's bring this cooler of beer in here. Let's do some drinking. And she didn't drink with us then when she was on the floor, but because we were getting pretty sloshed throughout the day. But yeah, when we went to lunch, I was like, hey, let's have a beer with us. She's like, yeah, fine, all right, cool. And found out, yeah, she was like 19. We're like, oh shit.
Well, she came back with the fury. She started handing out those things a lot more.
To be honest, she was pretty good the whole weekend. I had no problem with her. She was a great girl. She was pretty. She was nice. She was very friendly. So there was no problems there. It was great.
She also got pretty flirty with Kevin Caliber.
Yes, friend of the show.
Woo!
Yes, local movie actor, TV star, workout Greek god of a man from St. Louis, Kevin Caliber, and her kind of Hooked it up, but I thought they were gonna. I really thought they were gonna like hook up at like Saturday night or something like that, but it didn't
I
happen.
don't think they hooked up, but it was definitely like there was sexual tension.
There was definitely something there. With that said, though, and then like so back to Nachos, we meet him at the con, and then I think lately, like years go by, I think we heard maybe heard from him on social media here and there, but then
I was calling you guys up.
And then come
Watch
Contamination
this
2. Contamination 2, we see him again. He's dressed, he's going full cosplay. He's dressed up as Chad from the Friday 13th game, which I loved. It was great. Complete with, I think, car battery and everything. He shows up and gives us this like painting he did of some zombies. Like, hey, dude, I just like you guys. Here's a painting. I'm like, dude, that's fucking awesome. That's great. And so that's it. And then
it's Bub from Day of the Dead. I mean, it's supposed to look like it.
That makes I just thought it was a zombie. Like, either way, it's still fucking cool. Out of the blue is amazing. And then
that was just a little memento for you guys, giving me all this fucking good quality content. I'm like, I can paint a fucking picture for these guys. That's only fair.
I love when he paints those pictures. He was doing one he was super proud of, and I went to pick him up one night to go like get hammered, and he's like, "Hey, check out this painting I did. What do you think?" And I was like, "Wow, man, that's really cool, man. I can't believe it, dude. You did Jason," and he's like, "It's supposed to be Cropsy."
That's Cropsy. So I just like took the picture and fucking threw it in the neighbor's yard. I'm like, this is bullshit.
So now every time he does one, I conclude until he does. I'm like, oh wow, man, is that Cropsy? That's fucking great.
I don't paint too much anymore for some reason.
I still love it. The zombie painting does is hanging in our recording studio. It's on display there. And then basically, some time more passes, and we meet up with Nachos at a local St. Louis bar pizzeria called Blackthorn Pizza, which is amazing.
Oh, yes, dude.
If you're in St. Louis and you want some really cool, unique local pizza, go to Blackthorn. It's really good, but you better have like 2 hours to spare because it'll take you 2 hours to get your food.
Worth
but it's
the
worth
wait.
it. But it's worth the wait. And so from there, we hung out, we bond, we hit it off, and we had him on our first episode on Lake Fear 3. So we threw Nachos right into the deep end. We did not take mercy on him whatsoever when it came to
this season's winner.
Yes,
I was just gonna say, wasn't that voted the worst of the worst?
It was this year's champion of the Horrible Horror March Movie Madness Tournament of Awfulness. It won worst of the worst.
Got to vote on that one, and it was unanimous, which I think is
first time in history.
Quite a rarity.
And we've had unanimous votes before, but never in the championship match. Never in that one. And this one swept like, oh my god, it just destroyed. It was like
we fucking suck so bad.
It's like Michael Jordan, the '90s Bulls taking on like an elementary school team. That's how bad it just destroyed in the voting.
I tried to watch that. No, I couldn't even get 15 minutes in, and I had to turn off. Give me a headache. The first time I watch a movie, fucking give me a headache.
Sometimes, if I close my eyes, I can still hear those children screaming the ABCs.
So dumb.
Fucking shit, dude. Or that
of course,
thing.
I remember talking about that and being like, "What are they doing?" And you're like, "They're saying the alphabet." I'm like, "Oh my god, you're right." Oh.
If you haven't watched that movie, don't.
Yeah.
We make fun of it and we laugh. You might be like, well, what are they laughing about? It's got to be, I want to be in on the joke. Don't. Just don't.
That's don't. The movie.
But through him, then we end up meeting his buddy, his partner in crime, Mr. Eric, aka Cincinnati Jeff.
Salsa Von Mummy.
Salsa Von Mummy, as I first dubbed him.
That's a banger.
But yeah, so they joined us on. They haven't been on a whole lot of episodes because it's been relatively new. But I think we expect to see him a lot more in the future. But like I said, Nachos, he was on Lake Fear 3 along with Myers Massacre and Mrs. Claus, and Eric himself was on both Myers Massacre and Mrs. Claus as well, along with Intruder. I actually left Intruder off my list at first, but yes, they're on Intruder as well. Those were some great movies, some great, some good times there. And of course, and now because of Myers Massacre, I kind of always also think of these as my EI boys as well. EI will never go away.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Ride and die with the EI. But so anyway, let's get to why you guys are here. We wanted to bring on to have you talk about basically pat our backs. I do want to comment though, real quick, that you guys can't see. I don't know if I'm going to post the video for this or not yet, but if I don't, I just want to point out that Nachos I'm sure this is well thought out and planned, but I don't know if he's rubbing it in my face or not. But he is decked out in Halloween
What are you
3
talking
shit.
about?
He's wearing a Silver Shamrock T-shirt with a vest that has all the pins of all 3 of the Silver Shamrock masks on it.
These 3 never leave. I always change these ones.
Don't worry, he's not the only one. I heard what you said, and I want you to say it to Tom Atkins' face.
Say it, Marshall.
Cincinnati Jeff is holding up a Tom Atkins collectible action figure right now to the screen. Yes,
we are diehard Atkinsites.
That's right.
Yes,
We're
they
on
are.
the Tom Atkins diet, my friend.
Yeah, we've got a couple things that we would like to say about that.
And we are going to get to that because that's what we're going to up next. Let's start with but let's look back at some of the episodes that you guys have been on, and let's kind of refresh. Like I said, Lake Fear 3, we already kind of talked about. That movie is just fucking terrible, but that was just nachos.
Who recommended that? Was that Brandon Schneider? Was that Miners Massacre?
Myers Massacre was suggested, I think. And Lake Fear 3 was one. I just did that because we did Lake Fear 2 previously.
I owe that dude an apology because I went fucking hard as shit on him, and I feel like a straight up dick. I'm like, fuck that dude for recommending that movie. I'm sure that dude is a swell cat, so there's my redaction for that.
There you go.
He's like, it's like in Billy Madison. He's just like has the lipstick put it on, and it's like the kill is like,
Cross your name off.
like, no, thanks for the shout out, man. We're good. It just erases it.
Yeah. Myers Massacre, also AKA Curse of the 49er, for those if anybody is confused about what movie that is. It's got a double title. So,
dude, when Cincinnati Jeff beat you to the Undertaker thing, that had me fucked up so bad. You're like, I was playing with fire.
That movie was definitely an interesting the task for me to undertake because you guys beat yourselves up to watch these fucking horrible movies, right?
Yeah, I thought the movie was alright.
I go out of my way
kind of fun.
to not watch terrible stuff, right? Like I want to treat my eyes.
It'll happen.
And then of course I'm like, oh well, you know what? Let's watch this. And it wasn't that bad. And Martin Cove's in it, right?
Yes.
Mr. fucking Cobra Kai for some reason is
Cobra
in
Kai.
it.
The best part of the movie is his like 2 minutes on screen. And that's it.
Dude, when you guys were talking like old girl, she smokes Marlboro Reds and has a salad for lunch. She's like P90X or whatever. She's like a tight 40. That had me fucked up. I was listening to that shit about like a week ago in Target, and you know I don't do the courtesy of having like a headset in, so I just blare that shit. Some kids like, I learned a new word today. It's like, that's right, you're welcome, bucko.
That movie had more car explosions than I expected.
That car blew up twice, man. Yeah, so the whole when he like what he straight up bit his finger off and spit it in dude's face, yeah. And then later on he has I think I talk about it in that episode.
You do.
Either that or I'm delusional again. Well, anyway, he steals a finger and like re-Frankensteins his finger.
Yeah.
And then we went on like an X-Men tangent about like his name's Goldvein and his fucking blood goes.
Yes. Yeah. We had a whole thing with that episode. It turned out to be a really fun one, actually. That was a lot of fun.
That ignited my passion for podcasting. I'd listen, but I was like, all right, I'm definitely on board to do a podcast.
It ignited my passion of being a minor.
Yeah,
I'm 36, so I don't think it's going to work.
It wasn't long after that episode, I think, that you guys started, or did you guys already start?
We hadn't started Here Comes the Spooky yet.
Yeah. Dude, I was like, just for 6 years back at the old house, I'll see it, it'll pop up on my feed, like, from 6 years ago, it's like, who wants to make a horror movie podcast? I'm just like, man, that's a good idea. We should get on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool that you guys did that. I'm actually very glad that we do have this collaboration and this kind of camaraderie amongst horror movies. But your guys' podcast covers a little bit more better horror movies.
Yeah,
maybe that are a little bit more obscure, but still really good.
I don't know, some of
you're
those
also
movies.
going through your Hello Nasty list. So
yeah, for those of you who don't know,
I'm waiting for Cincinnati Jeff to hit me with the Hello Nasty.
Well, Cincinnati Jeff, what's the Hello Nasty list?
The Hello Nasty list is a list of video nasties that were banned over in Europe. Essentially, 72 movies that were prosecuted to the point where they had to be cut to be released, or if they were distributed, you would go to jail.
You go to jail.
One guy, I forget his name, actually went to prison for 18 months because he refused to stop distributing this movie that he was making money off of.
Abe Pagoda.
He went to fucking jail for 18 months. So we occasionally like to jump on some of the movies from there. We're doing our next episode that's coming up is Anthropophagus and Absurd, which are both on there. Just kind of jumping back to it.
We'll get into that.
I have not seen them. I've heard of Absurd. I have not seen it, but I know we've done at least one or two of I know we've done a few of the video nasties on the show. I can't remember which ones they were, but I know I've come across it. Oh, this was a video nasty from England. And that's actually how I first learned about it, because I didn't know what the fuck it was, so I did a movie and it just turned out to be on that list. And so I learned about it.
Night of the Demon is on that. The iconic Bigfoot movie with a very specific.
Oh, well, that's one we did. That's probably definitely one. Yeah, I bet one of the first ones we did then, or that was definitely on the list. I know we did it. But yeah, for those who don't know, Here Comes the Spooky. If you haven't gotten it already, they tend to do actually good horror movies than what we do here. So if you want to talk about good ones like The Burning and Evil Dead.
No, sir, you say that proudly.
What? That we do the shit? I'm proud we do the shit. Or proud that you guys do the good ones. I don't know what you're talking about, but
I don't know. New Year's Evil was pretty fucking terrible, dude.
We've done New Year's Evil. Yeah.
But that song is fucking kicking. I can't do that high note, but New Year's Evil. Oh. Okay, I can't talk for a month.
There's some great music that comes out of some of these terrible movies, man. Some have great music.
Rocktober Blood has a killer soundtrack.
We just talked about that with Chris and Sarah in the previous section. But yeah, that is a great. We talked about Rocktober Blood as a killer soundtrack, and we also talked about Killer Workout having an amazing soundtrack as well. If you guys didn't see that one.
Yeah, I see that porno with zombies in it.
Aerobicide. No, that's not the Linnea Quigley workout, which I do have sitting on my shelf as well. This is Killer Workout, aka Aerobicide.
Somebody spilled yogurt on it. That's weird. I don't know.
But actually, I'm curious, Nachos. I've never really because I want because like I said, we met you at a con, and you were kind of like really kind of like a homegrown fan. One of the ones that we actually in contact with, we know. So I'm just curious from your perspective, like, when you found our flyer, what was it that, that I guess once they got you about the show that you liked, or what made you continue to keep listening over all this time?
Yeah. And at the booth, I saw these two studs. I'm like, God damn, I want them to penetrate my ears at least once a week,
He's talking about Robert Mukes and Bishop Stevens, who we were sitting next to, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan was across from us. Certainly not us. But anyway, go on.
I was like, these boys are from the area, and I'm all about represent the ma and pa kind of shit. Opposed to them big corporation horror movie podcasts, trying to buy our farms up and shit. No, I was just like, these boys are from around here. They're talking horror movies. I was working at my uncle's fucking printing press at the time, so it's like, listen to a podcast or hear the industrial drone of machinery. So I think I went with the better option.
Oh, we're glad you did.
I think I jumped on around maybe episode 30 or 40 something. And I know I hit you guys with I was like following you guys on Facebook, and then I was like Instagram, and I was like, holy shit, these guys, they like to torture themselves watching not so great movies. Let's hit them with Dahmer vs. Gacy, because
I remember that.
Oh, that's right. That was you who gave us that movie.
I got a specific "fuck you, Mikey" venture, and I'm just like, I did right, fuck yeah. Because that movie is pure dog shit, but just that scene where they have that, I'm gonna fuck you so hard you're gonna grow a leather beard. I'm gonna fuck you till your eyes turn gold. I'm gonna fuck you so hard they're going to make a housing development up your right thigh. Who writes that? What movie?
Yeah, and there's something about an arcade machine too in there somewhere.
I'm gonna fuck you so hard a Donkey Kong machine's gonna fall out of your ass, and I'm gonna have a high score.
That's it. That was my favorite line of the movie. That was the one line. That line was what made the movie still shit, but that line was the best part of that movie.
I'm gonna fuck you in a Chevy Vega. What? What? Oh fuck! All right, so I think
that movie also holds if it doesn't hold the record, it's definitely a close contender for the most fucks. And maybe the holder for the most fucks in a row, where that woman is just going fuck, and it's just I think Marshall counted over 50 fucks.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say there was one movie where I kept a fuck counter going, And I do. That might have been that movie because I know I did a fuck counter for some movie that was setting the record at the time. And it might be that. Yeah, good call. It might be that one.
Trying to think, did I recommend a different one, a second one?
You had recommended them Microwave Massacre.
Did I?
Yes.
Jeez, I must hate you guys.
Yeah, fuck you. Here's your second fuck you, Mikey Venture.
Now, I
That's
like,
what I
him.
jumped on.
Aaron liked that
I
one.
like Microwave Massacre. I had.
I like that
It has its charm, but like when the dude's going through his lunchbox and he has like the seafood dinner plastic crab like you see at Red Lobster kind of shit,
Yeah.
and there's like holes in the fence for the boobs. Okay.
Yeah.
A boob glory hole. Yeah, it was just a glory hole for a boobs. It was
Ooh, in this COVID world, we might be onto something, guys.
glory holes are coming back in the pandemic world, man. Glory holes it up.
Well, it just depends if you get on all fours. Moving on.
But no, and then like I said, I assume like then Eric came in at some point. Like I don't know, I can't speak for Eric, but I'm just because this is kind of interesting getting to talk to, I guess, people who start off as fans because we don't really get to talk to like a lot of our fans that interact with us. You know, they aren't there. They're social media stuff or something like that. So actually being able to hear stuff from people who start off as fans is really kind of nice to kind of learn what we were doing right and where we came from and stuff like that. So, so Eric, what was your first, like, I guess, introduction to our show, or how'd you? I guess it was doing nachos. Yeah, I'm sorry, Cincinnati Jeff. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, they know my name.
Yeah.
We've been outed.
So Nachos wouldn't shut up about you guys, and then he also kept saying like he wanted to fucking start a podcast, and I was like, all right, let me check it out. So no shit. You were the very first podcast I'd ever checked out. I remember getting the app on my phone. It was Podcast Addict, and I downloaded 2 shows, yours and a video game show called Retronauts. And I was like, all right, well, like Nachos kind of gave me like the rundown. He told me like certain episodes to check out that he thought were particularly good. And I was like,
my episodes.
I was like, okay, so yeah, the Dahmer Gacy one was definitely one. So I was like, all right, so I understand the premise, right? They watch the worst of horror movies, right? That's what you guys fucking say.
Yeah.
And I'm going through this, I was like, fuck these guys, dude. Friday the 13th Part 5. I'm sorry, no. And then I'm like, Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Everybody knows that Freddy Dead's the fucking worst. I'm not listening to these guys. And then like 2 days later, I was cutting grass and I was like, the sound of this fucking lawnmower is just eating it up. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to put it on. And it was episode 100. And that was the first one I listened to. And I think you had the Sarah's. I think you had the samples. Chris and Sarah were both on that one.
Yeah, because that was our 100th episode. Yeah, it was. Speaking of which, that was Nightmare on Elm Street 5, which you just said fuck us guys for doing. But yeah, yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm really into this. This is good. So then I got back to the other stuff. I was like, okay, I get it. They're not actually watching what they think is the worst. They're just watching just bad horror movies, and then whether they like it or not. So then I was on board because at first I was like, no, dude, I'm sorry. Friday 13th Part 5 is my fucking favorite one. These guys can go to hell.
F off and go to heck.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how I got started. So episode 100. Now we're at 200. I've literally been listening for that long. So.
Well, that's awesome. And again, we appreciate everything you guys do and keep listening. But yeah, the Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday 13th Part 5. I remember when we did that. I know we had already done Jason X, but there was ones where I was trying to every now and then do like a quote unquote good movie, ones that people would actually be aware, because we were doing stuff like Bloody Mary 3D, Alice in Murderland, these weird movies that no one's really heard of. So like, let's do a big one, that has some name value. I'm like, well, Friday 13th Part 5, fuck, it's the one that doesn't have Jason in it, so people might not.
Yeah, a lot of people consider it like we're upset that Jason wasn't. So
no, kind of like the Halloween 3 didn't really have Jason, so like, let's do that, And but yeah, I mean, overall, is it bad? No, it's still a solid movie. It has its issues, but it still got some great scenes. It's one that always stuck in my mind because I like the Pinehurst scene with the chocolate bar kid pissing off the guy chopping wood. I mean, that scene was just like, holy fuck! When I saw that as a kid, like that's intense. But
I hung on to that animosity for years, and the very first time I fucking got to meet Aaron at a trivia night, I was like sitting there and I bought him a drink and I was like, hey man, Friday the 13th Part 5 is really a good movie. Like, go chill. Like, one of the first things I ever said to him. I fucking held that hate in my heart.
I remember that.
Our trivia.
I remember that because I've hung out with I hung out with Nachos a few times, and he's like, "Yeah, why don't you meet my friend Eric?" I'm like, "Okay, let's meet Eric." We did a horror movie trivia at the Heavy Anchor.
That was
And
tense, man.
he's like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" You're like super nice and like, "Hey, let me buy you a drink." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He's like,
Then
"I
it got
really love the
real
podcast.
quiet.
You do a great job." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Friday 13th Part 5 is a great movie, so I hope you realize that."
Because our trivia name, we were like, we gotta stay something horror movie. I think we were the 1, 2, 3 Shark Break Kids.
We were the Shark Break Kids the first time.
All right, and then I was just
Yeah.
like, fuck it, we're the Fart Boys. Because remember, Andy was reading it. Anytime I was fucking annihilated. Anytime Andy's like, and them Fart Boys, it's just dead as fuck. It's just like me. That was good times, man.
I miss
Them
those
Fart
trivia
Boys
nights.
ride again.
But I did, yeah. Very first fucking couple sentences, I was like, I gotta get this off my fucking chest.
We got like 4th place. I think we did okay.
I'm gonna hang on to that for a while.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that. That's kind of funny.
He had it all written out on cue cards and shit. Like, and,
That reminds you, like, speaking of you first listened to the 100th episode, that was like the first episode where we got like legit like hate mail for it too, because somebody who loved Nightmare on Elm Street 5 is like, this is the best movie. It's my favorite one. This is the best one. Like, fuck you guys. Like, I don't know if I can listen to you anymore. And like, he was saying it in tweets, but they were like 3 or 4 hours apart. So like his rage was just like continuous. He didn't send one angry tweet. He sent one tweet, and like 3 hours later he sent another angry tweet. And like 3 hours later he sent another one. And it was like, this is the best movie. What's wrong with you guys? And like 3 hours later, like, how dare you like put like Full Moon in your Hall of Fame and say this is a shit movie? Like, fuck you. The 3 hours later,
That
like,
guy's like getting like legit pissed, and then
Yeah,
he's like,
like-
he goes to what he's doing about his day, and he's thinking about it. He's like, I'm not letting this go.
yeah, he's like, he couldn't let it go. Just couldn't let it go. And I loved it. Like, oh my god, like we arrived. Like, we're finally getting hate mail. Like,
You think it was
we've
like
finally
a-
done it.
he just like, he was good for a minute. He's like, all right, I got it all. He's like, you know what? No, fuck these guys. This is fucking bullshit. It's like, you know, when the coffee pot percolates kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like loathing.
Every time he talks to a new friend, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm pretty pissed
These
off about it.
motherfuckers.
And then he gets all
These
fucking jacked up
motherfuckers.
about it again.
He said things, he's like, I don't know if I can listen to these guys again. Maybe after I cool down, maybe I'll try to listen to them again. But I just don't know. I'm so mad. Like, it was hilarious. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy.
It's the one thing I want so bad in this world, which is one of the reasons why we are also self-deprecating, because it's like you remove the ammo from the people that listen
That's
and
right.
the internet in general. Is I want a hater. We got one email after Silver Bullet. We've only got 2 emails, and this lady was like, "Hey, really like the show. However, I think it was in poor taste of you to make fun of that kid in the wheelchair. He probably had to work really hard
What, 'cause he
on
got
set."
fucked in the ass by Charlie Sheen.
And like, I had to respond back, and I was like, "Do you just so you know, Corey Haim could walk. He can't walk now because he's dead. But then he could walk. He's not really a paraplegic.
I don't know. You probably sprinkle some.
Thanks for
coke on
writing."
his- Yeah, you can legit see the fucking wire as he is descending.
Yeah, we had one more that was like pretty. We actually got a lot of heat for Campground the Requel.
I was thinking that Aaron, because Aaron, this was all Aaron's doing, but it's hilarious, and I love it.
You, bud.
Yeah, I went hard on it because this movie was awful. I mean, everything from the writing to the lighting to the acting. There was Fat Dusty Rhodes. Everlast Fat Dusty Rhodes was the killer. It was just so bad. And I got pretty drunk, and I went hard at him. And the ironic thing is that Marshall didn't tell me this before. We were supposed to interview the writer-director of that movie next week.
Yep.
Guess what didn't happen?
He got together with the fucking fanboy from Nightmare 5 and was like, "We're starting a club."
So the next, like, as soon as that episode gets posted on Twitter and on Facebook, we're just
It's mostly
getting lit up
Facebook.
by all of his friends. All of his friends are just like, "Fuck this show, fuck these guys." They don't know good stuff when they see it, and I'm like,
Yeah, like they're just being assholes for the sake of being assholes, trying to do this, and they don't understand. Like, yeah, this is a good movie, and you did a good job. I'm like, oh wow, yeah. And the thing was that
And that's where we
Go ahead.
had to learn about communication there because Marshall forgot to see, like, he didn't mention to me, hey, you know, we're just be careful what you say because we're interviewing this guy next week. And he just let me go. And then at the end of the episode, he goes, well, we'll get a chance to talk to him next week. I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh, you like pulled a Barry Sims on him, dude. And we're going to cut to the Myers house.
Yeah.
I do feel this way. Because guess who's right in the back right now?
He's fucking
Yeah.
like drinking Red Bull on Jerry Springer, doing bumps, like slapping himself in the face.
I remember I didn't tell him at the time because like I didn't want him to pull a punch. Like I didn't want to like not be honest. Like I didn't want to like Stench was like, oh, like I want him to tell how it feels, and if it sucks, it sucks. I want to be honest. Like that's what we're trying. I didn't want to. Oh, we're interviewing guys, so I'm going to go soft. I'm going to say like, oh, it was really good or it's fine, not be honest about it. But yeah, in retrospect, yeah, we didn't know that Aaron was getting drunk too. So drunk Aaron, you know.
I don't think it's a matter of pulling punches. It sounds like you fucking drove into his house and like pulled his grandma out of bed and lit her on fire in the fucking front yard, man.
You drove over that movie with the car from fucking Miners Massacre and
Yeah.
then blew it up.
Twice.
It's fun to, but it's good to have like honesty in that. Like when we did Never Hike Alone with you guys, I sent the link to Vincent DeSanti, the director.
Oh, Vincent.
And he listened
What a
to
dude.
it, and he actually responded. I don't know if I ever told you guys this. He sent me an email back that said he loved your idea of the Christie governor, like
Yeah.
WWF Christie thing.
Yeah.
And then he actually sent me some stills, some photography stuff from the movie about that he didn't get to put in, but he actually had some hand drawn maps about where it's located in New Jersey that I need to actually send over to you
Fuck,
guys.
yes.
You got some production stills and stuff.
That's
So
cool.
it's like cool that he listened to it, said he liked the episode, appreciate what everybody had to say, wasn't pissed off at anything that when we cut into some of the stuff, he was very chill about it.
Dude, Vincent was solid as fuck. He was a cool dude.
We've had some pretty good luck, other than that one with Roman, who actually we loved in Don't Fuck the Woods. The guy that's why we did the movie in the first place. We wanted to interview because he was awesome in that movie. Don't Fuck the Woods. Roman Jossart is his name.
Who did he play in that?
He was
He was a fat guy.
he was a chubby
I
guy.
hate to say it,
Okay.
but I mean, he's the
That's
big,
good.
he's the comic relief. He's the guy who's always smoking weed. He's the heavyset guy, but his acting in that movie, I think,
He's
was
great in that
the best.
movie, and
Because Nadia White ass fuck queen is in that movie.
yes,
She's awesome.
yes, it is.
And a good actress.
But we've had luck like you. Like we've done, we've interviewed like Vito Tribuco and oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name, but a guy who did Clown Camp Massacre and some other directors of the.
That movie was fucking hilarious.
And they were really good
Dude.
sports about things we said about the movies. Like I get it. They were just like Vincent. Like they took it with a grain of salt, and they were really really cool about it. Drew Marvick was
Drew
another
Marvick,
great.
yeah.
Some great.
I can't wait for part 2. That I enjoyed the first one. I'm like, all right, this is pretty, by the numbers, kind of, and the twist, which I don't want to, fucking ruin it.
Yeah,
for
no,
anybody.
that is.
Yeah.
actually-
Speaking of which, Drew Marvick is the director. For those who don't know, is the director of Pool Party Massacre, the indie hit.
It's a treat.
So,
It's a nice
it-
retro romp kind of thing.
yeah.
Looking forward for part 2. I heard there's some bonus something or other in
A
the
cameo.
background. A cameo.
So
There
yeah,
might be. There might be. It's not confirmed
It's
yet. So we can't
something
confirm
I-
it until I actually see it on print in the
Unfortunately,
video.
Pool Party Massacre 2 production is halted because of COVID-19. But there was an Indiegogo that if you pledged X amount of money, you could maybe get. It wasn't cheap, but they said if you pledge this, you can get. So in the first Pool Party Massacre, there's a wall with all the family photos on there, and you can get your family photo. You can put a family photo on there. And what I'm planning on doing is submitted Marshall Hampton's high school yearbook, one of his high school yearbook photos, not the one he put in the yearbook, but one of them, when you get it done, and it's glorious. It's so good.
It's one of my senior pictures. When you go to your senior pictures, they make you do like 20 different poses, and you do and you pick the one that goes in the yearbook, and then you have all these other ones for like your parents or whatever. And
yeah.
the one Aaron's talking about is one that was not used in the yearbook. It was, but Aaron absolutely loves this picture. It's basically my James Bond villain picture where I'm sitting in a chair with a sport coat and tie on, and I'm holding. Keep in mind, I have a shaved head at this time, so I'm like almost bald because I went through like a big shaved head phase in high school, and and I'm holding my pet cat like a Bond villain in this episode, in this picture.
Like if you were to spin around in the chair, you'd say,
Yes.
"You and I are not so different, Mr. Bond."
Yeah, exactly. And Aaron just loves that fucking picture. So that's the one he submitted to have put into Pool Party Massacre 2 in the background somewhere.
It's like this oversized tan suit.
Where
tan jacket.
I thought for sure he'd be like, oh, it'd be our logo maybe, like the Horrible Horror
No.
Podcast logo. That would be great marketing. Nope. He went with my fucking obscure senior picture.
What if you did a limited run of shirts? Just saying, your boy might rock one over here. I don't know.
That, honestly, that's kind of a genius idea. Maybe I could figure out a way to do that.
Good evening, Moon Goons.
Just petting your cat.
No, Moon Goons, we want you to buy.
Holy fuck.
I'd buy it.
I'd buy 2 just in case, like, I fucking hulked out through my first one. Let me impress the ladies. Oh, my shirt. I like that one.
Oh, man.
Man.
So,
I'm really hoping that happens.
I just want to get back on focus. I just realized this, that you guys, in one shape or form, have been, at least part of you guys, have been featured and a part of not just this year's worst of the worst horror movie in Lake Fear 3, but you were also a part of this year's, what Aaron and I voted on as the best of this year in Intruder as well. So you've been to both ends of the spectrum and back again.
Yep.
So you've been the worst, and the best of the best on this, and so that's pretty awesome. And then, like I said, Myers Massacre was a great episode, and then also Mrs. Claus was kind of, I think, a sleeper of an episode. Like I didn't expect it to be as fun as it turned out to be.
Detective Snoopy Tits.
Yes,
Christy Brinkins, is that her name?
That's
Brinky
a girl
Stevens?
from Black Christmas.
Yeah,
It's like fucking Lando Calrissian.
yeah, and like Potato Face and.
Oh my god, dude! And then she did that gremlin voice. What the fuck was that?
She looks like she eats Lego salads every day.
This poor
I just
girl.
want to ask her, where did your teeth go?
Dude,
Oh.
my
God, we really went hard on her.
Yeah.
Jesus, if she ever heard that.
Well,
Yeah.
now that you bring that up again, I want to announce that next week we were actually interviewing her on the show.
You know what? There's our fucking horror movie. 4 shithead podcasters from the Midwest insult a guest. They show up and fucking get knocked off one by one because
The funny thing is, I actually pitched that idea to Drew Marvick for Pool Party Massacre 2 at one point because I pitched it like, dude, you want us? We'll fly out to Vegas. You want to kill us on camera, and we'll just play ourselves and get some stupid horror. You can just come and kill us. Like, I pitched that to him. I don't think it made the cut. He was all about it at the time, but then just like, yeah, I don't think we can fit that in. Like, all right.
Make our own movie company. We'll do the one where it's the kid. They're walking out with the fucking baby, and then he gets bitten by a juggalo. So like, if you throw Fago on him, he turns into a were-juggalo.
Oh, weird. Fucking Fago.
I think we were spitballing that back at Blackthorn Pizza. I was
Yeah.
annihilated. It was the day after my birthday.
We went pretty hard.
It's like, oh, we got pictures. I'm like, another Long Island iced tea. It's like, it's like, I know what I'm doing.
But let's talk real quick because I know you mentioned it earlier, Cincinnati Jeff, Salsa Van Mummy. You guys had some. I'll give you this opportunity. You had some bones to pick, I guess, about our take on Halloween 3 on our 200th episode. Again, if you can't see the video, if it's not reposted, they just both put on silver shamrock masks, and Nacho is wearing the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern, and Cincinnati Jeff is wearing the skull. So let's hear it. You can vent your grievances now, if you will, about what we had to say.
I have a couple notes about it.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. That was sort of a full sketchbook full of notes. And they're playing this song. God damn it.
Well, for starters,
let me get some brain tonic. You spearhead.
You feel free to say anything you want about us. We love the cuts. However, you leave that fucking national treasure Tom Atkins and his mustache. Tom Atkins, Tom, steal your motherfucking girl Atkins out of it, sir. I got to that part, I had to pause and rewind, and I was like, that motherfucker? I mean, I'd probably do that to him, but however, how dare he? How dare he say that about Tom Atkins?
Here comes the spooky. No, here comes the spanking.
And then for you, towards the end, to say, I'd rather watch Ghost of Mars, I did a spit take.
Hey, man, Ghost of Mars is a pretty fun movie.
I mean, it's got Ice Cube. It's cool. But, I mean,
It's dog shit. But it's fun.
it has no lasers in the mouth.
Sadly, no.
Yeah. No
That's
lasers in the mouth.
on a checklist for
It
me.
does have space nitrous and cootie wind, right? And then like
Honestly, that could be a good one. Aaron wants to do more sci-fi horror. We might do that on the
Yeah.
show coming up. It's John Carmer's sci-fi horror one.
and when you get like hit by the wind, you turn into the manager of Goth Topic, and like you're cutting yourself, and you got fucking fish hooks coming out your butthole.
We do. Nachos has prepared a expose, if you will. But I will say this, that we do understand that it is it's a weird movie for sure. People who
Oh
love it
my
defend
God.
it. They're diehard fans. We love it. And then there's like the people who hate it. There's no one really in between.
I have
And-
never seen. That's probably the most polarizing horror movie in the history of horror movies. Like you said, people love it, will defend it to the death, and then everybody else. There's no middle ground in that movie. You love it or you hate it, and like no matter which side of the fence you're on, like the people who love it come across as like I except you guys. I'm not trying to pull you guys in this, but so many of like said on the show, like so many of the 5-star reviews are like
going around it.
we're like so many like horror snobs, like, oh, you just don't understand it, you don't get it, you're like, fuck you, you're just too stupid, like it's beyond you. Like that kind of argument doesn't work for me. And then the people who hated it were like me originally. He said, oh, I hate it because there's no Michael Myers in it, that's why I hate it, or blah blah blah. But yeah, it's the most polarizing horror movie I think I've ever come across ever. So I mean, it's crazy.
It is, and I get it. Like when I was listening to you guys review it, I think Aaron looks at it kind of how I look at it. It's not necessarily a good movie,
Oh,
but it's
By no
fun.
means.
And like, usually when I get done with a movie, I'm like, did I have fun? That's like my most important part. Does the plot make sense? Absolutely fucking. Like, how did the killer get from here to here in a matter of seconds? I don't give a shit.
I mean,
Space time travel.
I'm not watching this
I'll make
movie
it up
for
myself.
logic.
Yeah,
you know?
but that one, it is very fun. And I mean, you guys had such a fun time with the episode. I had
Yeah.
fun listening to the episode. That's how fun that episode is. I was literally enjoying myself
I can tell you guys were having fun
listening to it. And that's like kind of
Yeah.
the genius of that movie.
I
And
will
I
say
hate that people want to beat you over the head with it when they're like, you don't get it. That's
Yeah.
your problem.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't. That's the attitude I don't like about people who are big fans of it. And it seems to be the mass majority, according to the reviews I came across, was that attitude. But I do say, as much I didn't care, I still don't care for the movie, but it was a lot of fun. That was a really fun episode to do. A lot of fun with that one. I didn't think it was fun. I said my views. I thought it was boring, and I don't think the plot makes sense because nothing's ever fucking explained.
No, it does not.
There's fucking. He's talking about aliens and planets, and witchcraft is mentioned one time. And what the fuck's going on? And how's he turned to a wire Stonehenge shooting out blue laser beams, and he vanishes into
the fucking blue cheese.
What
What is
turns
that?
into paper
fuck
again
is
or
that?
something.
What is
No,
that?
if they would have explained, like if he would have said in his monologue with Tom Atkins, like, "Hey, I come along the line of warlocks or witches, and this is the thing." Okay, fine. There's no explanation as to what's going on and how this is happening. And why is the computer chip causing bugs and snakes to come out of people? How is that even possible?
I can explain that actually.
He doesn't even
because
say
it-
magic. It's magic. Okay, so it doesn't even say that. It just happens.
It's scary magic.
Yeah, dude. No, so in the novelization, apparently the chips from Stonehenge open a portal into another dimension. So on top of them being
Where a killer eye comes out? Is it the 8th dimension where the killer eye comes out? Because that would have been an awesome tie-in.
dude, that I was busy. It was straight talking at boobs the whole movie.
Hands down, though, only movie I think I've ever seen where they use Stonehenge as a plot device.
Plot device.
Air quotes.
No, Revenge.
Aaron's like thinking, he's like, have they done that?
Revenge.
I think in Excalibur they do a lot of Stonehenge references, but it's not a plot device.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Killer Stonehenge. We overlooked the obvious, guys. Come on.
Go ahead, Nachos. I believe you have prepared
Yes,
something.
All right. I'll keep it brief. I personally feel the biggest flaw of the film is in the title. I think the movie might have been received much better if they focused more on the Season of the Witch aspect and not so much the Halloween portion. Example, Season of the Witch, Halloween Tale.
Nice, yeah.
Well, with that out of the way, let's briefly hack into this movie. This movie has its own agenda. It's not stuck in the cookie cutter mold of the 80s slasher flicks. It's doing its own thing, and it doesn't care what you think. It came out in 1982. Jason didn't have his mask yet. Freddy wasn't even a nightmare. And I'm pretty sure at this point, Halloween was the only horror movie franchise with sequels. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Yeah. I'm sure somebody else fucking...
Friday 13th, I think.
Well, Jason had his mask yet. He could have had Friday 13th 1 and 2 could have been out by now, because didn't 2 come out in like 82?
81.
81, yeah. It was like 80, 81, 82. They came out like once a year at that point. It's like,
well, I'm not here to deconstruct how awesome it is.
Continue with your dissertation.
Where's my lectural, whatever the fucking thing? Anyway, and Jaws was just a monster movie. But Jaws is awesome. Okay, fuck me for saying that. Anyway, so on to the plot. An Irish toy maker steals a chunk of Stonehenge, carves off little slivers of said mystic rock into computer chips, and inserts them into children's Halloween masks, so that on the Sabbath of Samhain, millions of children's heads can explode into a slurry of snakes and spiders, surprised to appease the Celtic gods of old. That's the plot. That makes no fucking sense, and I love it. On that insane premise alone, I'm motherfucking sold. I feel this movie draws more of a science fiction and mystery elements rather than sticking to the tried and true slasher genre. And not so short, Halloween 3 takes the Stone Age into the digital age, tries to reinvent the franchise, all while making you ask yourself, what the fuck just happened? Oh, and Tom Atkins is in it. Yeah, there you go.
Drop the mic on Tom Atkins. All right, fair enough.
I'll drop my mic.
He texted me as soon as he got done with the episode. He's like, I got a lot to say about that. No shit.
Legit, I fell asleep listening to the episode. I woke up, picked up where I left off, and I just like reached over, grabbed my fucking notebook. I'm like, it's time to write. I've been that motivated to do anything in fucking like 10 years.
Oh, I'm glad we can motivate you.
I'm glad we can inspire people to put pen to paper and to let their passion come forward. That's what we're all about here at Horrible Horror Podcast.
People helping people. It's powerful stuff.
I did say it was all negative, though. I did say the music, the score, John Carpenter's score and music was great. And I love the ending.
Hell yeah.
I do love the ending. I love the ending and the idea that maybe Tom Atkins fails and like, all the kids, everybody gets mutilated and destroyed. But
you guys questioning why kids were trick-or-treating at a gas station. I never once thought to ask that question.
Yo, man, the 80s was a crazy time.
I just accepted it as like, that's what people do. Sure, why the fuck not?
We're dancing on cardboard, doing cocaine, and Ronald
I grew up in the 80s. I never went trick-or-treating at a gas station with trick-or-treating. Like, I never did that. Who does that?
No, you trick-or-treated at an ER after you checked out what Mace was like.
Well played, sir. Well played. That was great.
Oh,
if you want the full story on that, go check out the episode.
Yeah,
if you haven't listened to it already.
Episode 200 for that story. That was a good one.
People. My thing with Halloween 3 was I got the trilogy that box set that Blockbuster had on VHS. So it's 1 and 2 and then 3. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Michael Myers ain't in this, so shut it down. And then later on, I'm just like, let's give this another shot. Maybe there's something there. And I'm just like, I'm glad I waited for you, movie. I wasn't ready yet, but I'm ready.
Let me ask you this, though. Like, how long a time?
I definitely feel that, I'm sorry, I definitely feel, to piggyback off that what Nacho was saying, I definitely feel this is definitely, like, how many times can I say definitely? This
definitely.
Is, a movie for adults. You have to be a little bit older.
That's where I was going with it. That's why I want to, like, when you kind of said the same thing to me, Michael Myers in it, so kind of fuck it. And I said that when I was
evil. He is in it. But...
Fuck that. And again, the people say, well, Michael Myers is a cameo. You don't know what
that review.
Fuck you.
Like, and the fucking guy wrote that review, and he's like, and by the way, Michael Myers is in it if you pay attention.
Yeah, like, I was like, fuck you. That's not shit I'm talking like, fuck you. Get that shit out of here. But, so, like, okay, I was like 11 or 12 when I first saw it, and it poisoned my soul, and I was like, fuck, I'm never doing it. And you just said the same thing.
not like you stayed at your Uncle Touchy's cabin, you know? It's a fucking movie, Marshall. It's okay,
So,
bud.
but when
My dick didn't work for a week. That's how upset I was.
It's just out of the fucking My Chemical Romance like pamphlet, you know?
Yeah,
It's
you know,
in my soul.
how old were you then when you went back and gave us like, all right, let me give it a second try. Like, were you older?
Mentally?
Okay, physically, I whatever. But yeah, like when you gave it that second try, it's like, okay, now I get it. Where was because for me,
20-ish.
Yeah, I was in my 20s. I was the exact same way. I saw it and I was like, it's not for me. In my 20s is when I started giving it another chance. Same.
It's pretty much like, you know, you watch Friday the 13th, you know, the series, the Halloweens, the Chainsaws, the Hellraisers, the fucking Puppet Masters. You're like, shit, where do I go from here? I pretty much watched everything else. It's like, let's go back to this one. You neglected this guy. And I was like, oh, wow. I'm glad I left you. It was like finding a $20 bill in your old fucking winter coat kind of thing.
okay,
This is like tailored by John Carpenter and fucking Tommy Lee Wallace and Nick Castle. And, you know, it's the crew that brought you Halloween 1 and 2 pretty much. And they're like, we're going to switch things up. It's like pineapple pizza, maybe.
get that shit out of here too, man.
Plus-
Fuck that.
It goes in my mouth. It goes in my mouth.
When I-
While I'm watching Halloween 3.
I had a healthy appreciation for Tom Atkins because he's in a lot of action
Yeah,
movies.
dude.
Escape from New York. He's
Maniac
in
Cop.
Maniac Cop. He's in
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon 1. You know, and so when
That
I was
Dream
older
you were
and I
telling
could
me
see
about.
it, I was like, oh, I
No.
can really appreciate it. You know, like I like Tom Atkins, so that helped as well. But like you said, it's definitely something for an older crowd. It's not something that a young person who's trying to cut their teeth on horror can. There's just really no way for you to get into it. The
Yeah.
plot makes no fucking sense. and
It's
it's just
so fucking
it's bonkers.
absurd. It's just a drunk womanizing doctor
Yeah,
just grabbing butt cheeks, slapping boobies, fucking just crushing fucking Millers and Coors Lights and Schlitzes, and just the fucking dude is a poon hound. And I love that he's fucking taking old girl to Plowtown, and his fucking wife is next door and gets her fucking face blown off by lasers. What? Dude, and all those fucking
I remember the first time I watched it, I distinctly remember having this thought, 12 or 13 years old. And I must have went pee or I wasn't paying attention when he's visiting his ex-wife. Because later on,
you know who that is.
when he bangs that girl in the hotel, it's like, what a piece of shit. He's cheating on his wife when his kids are at home.
No, they were
Fuck
separated.
this guy. But I must have missed that part. And I remember distinctly being upset about that when I was a kid. I was like,
The
that guy's a
infidelity of Tom Atkins, you motherfucker! It's getting late, and I need a drink. Daddy Tommy needs to go to Plowtown. You can't write shit like that for fucking actors anymore, dude. It's no.
It's really hard, yeah.
I love when he's fucking doing like the barrel rolls and shit, because like
avoiding the cars and
Yeah.
the search police and stuff.
Like,
Like the cars.
Daddy Tommy has fucking front body, and like realistic, he's not like fucking, you know, Tom Cruise, like I'm 50 and I'm still jacked as fuck or whatever, or Dolph Lundgren, and he's like,
He's every bit of 45-year-old Midwestern man.
goddamn right. Like,
Dad bod for days.
Like,
yeah, he's 80s bod. It's the 80s bod. I mean, that's what 80s movie star bod. Yeah.
it's a realistic, positive body type we can all achieve.
All you gotta do is drink
Speaking
beer
of-
and alcohol, beer and booze, and they'd be
Speaking
an
of body
achievement.
types,
I'm pretty
speaking
sure.
of body types,
What you got?
I think we should just go ahead and tell everyone now.
Oh yeah.
Horrible Horror Podcast and Here Comes the Spooky have engaged in a rumble, if you will, of losing weight. We actually engaged in a weight loss challenge of each other because we've all been getting pretty fat with this COVID going on. We haven't been
No
going
body
out,
shame.
drinking so much
Body
beer, just eating so much food, and not really doing much. You know, you even just walking to work and back, you know, like around the office. That's not happening. So we're all decided, fuck it, let's lose some weight together. And honestly, we're doing pretty damn good. I'm impressed with everyone's progress. And so the boys at Here Comes the Spooky, dude, they're bringing the pain. I'm impressed. I thought for sure I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna carry this team, and you know, we're gonna whip these donkeys. Nope, these guys are on it.
Well,
and
when you got like the fucking like I don't know Stonehenge, black magic, and meth on your side, I guess it's something you know it's easy to lose weight. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
You shave off part of Stonehenge, you just, woo! I just saw Tom Atkins' mustache.
The
Goddamn.
deal is if we win the weight loss challenge, we get to pick a movie for the Horrible Horror Podcast to watch and review. And we're not going to pick something bad. We're actually going to pick something good and contemporary. And after listening to last week's episode, probably going to be something that has Tom Atkins in it, you motherfucker.
Yeah, dude, we're coming at you with like some Shawshank Redemption caliber fucking big good shit. So I hope you guys are ready to have a good time. That's
and
not
then
really
if
a good
we
prize.
lose, then they're going to recommend the
Hey,
fucking worst of the worst
You
for
fucking
us to
guys
watch and
hit me
fucking
with
review.
Blake Terror 3 already. So other than like maybe watching a porno of my fucking parents or something, I don't think it gets much worse than that.
Just don't let it be the Greasy Strangler. I don't want to stare at
I
fucking
fucking love it.
flaccid penises for 90 minutes.
Janet, am I good? Am I good, Janet? Janet, am I good? Because you're a fucking bullshit artist.
All right. On that note, we're gonna take a quick break here, and we're gonna come right back. So stay tuned. There's more with the Here Comes the Spooky Boys in just a moment. All right, and we're back. And we're still.
And we're back
There we go.
with
All right,
Chipper in the nips.
Few minutes for us, nothing for you guys listening. It's seamless. But let's get back. We just talked more about Halloween 3, which we did on the 200th episode proper. But I want to go back and
I got it all out.
there's so you could debate that movie for eternity. I mean, you could go back and forth on that one forever. But I want to go back and talk about, since you guys are coming in from a kind of a fan standpoint and a different perspective. What were some of your, like, even though I know like your experiences actually as guests on the show are up to this date were very small so far. Hope now continue to grow. But listening back, what were some of your particular favorite episodes, movies, or moments that you remember from the show? Or was there any movies that we've done that, or episodes because we did on the show, you went and watched the movie, or anything like any kind of experiences like that throughout your time?
You want to go first?
So one of your earlier episodes was Friday the 13th, part VII.
Yes.
And that was, so, it's so fun when you guys are having fun. Not that you guys aren't having fun, right? But there's some movies just get you so pumped up. You have so much to say about it. And I remember that one. I listened to the episode while watching the movie and was drinking. And I remember texting Aaron, like when we first started hanging out, I remember texting Aaron a picture of the episode on my phone and the fucking movie playing. And I'm like, dude, this is a fucking killer episode. And
But that was actually one of our first. It wasn't our first, but it might have been our second watch along episode, I think, or second or third.
We did Monster Squad prior
Monster
to that?
Squad was our first. What was our first watch along? So you did it proper. You actually watched along with us then, I guess.
yes,
So
I did.
That's
I
great.
very much enjoyed, and I think I told you guys that because I think Marshall had asked, like, do you like to watch alongs? I'm like, oh yeah, I really like the watch along episodes. They're a lot of fun.
That's good to know,
I think
because
I've
we don't
done
get a whole
every
lot
one
of
of
feedback on those, and it's good to know that if people like them or not. I don't really get much. Like I said, that's something I don't get a whole lot of feedback on.
And they're even good to listen to when you're not watching.
Oh hell yeah! Like a movie like Friday the 13th or whatever, you've just seen so many fucking times. I can close my eyes, watch the movie.
There you go.
So that one's definitely a big one for me. And then a more recent one is Elves. No, not Elves. Elves is good.
Oh, dude, what the? You want to talk about some Halloween 3 level fucking what the shit? That plot? I'm gonna knock up my uncle, daughter, grandma, so secret Nazi elves can. Okay, I don't know, man. That's a lot. That's a big.
Yeah.
I forget which. I think it's right around the same time. Elves or Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, where you forgot to write the script.
Saturday Night Deadly Night 3.
Yes, that was so fun.
Because I told Aaron, like, at the beginning of the week, like on a Monday, like we record on Sunday, so I told him like that the Monday after we recorded the previous episode, hey dude, can you take the lead on this one? Because I'm gonna be busy. I need you to take notes and take the lead on this episode. He's like, no problem, I got it. Come Sunday, we record. I'm like, all right, you ready to go? Like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, dude, you're supposed to take lead. I'm like, no, what? Like,
Let's wing it.
fuck?
The tone in Marshall's voice when he like cuts the episode and he's like, so sorry about this, but it turns out Aaron was supposed to take the notes and he didn't. And that That was so fun because you guys are just firing from the hip and trying to remember what happened.
And it was such a shitty movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude. What is it? It's how does a pinhead get his pants off and then like she fucking jacks off her belt buckle?
it's
Fuck
so
that
bad.
movie.
The movie's
How are you
dumb.
gonna cast Bill fucking Mosley and just don't do anything zany or cool? Just stand there like a dipshit and look like
Like,
some
just be a
fucking-
vegetable. Just
some
be like a
great
lumbering
Frankenstein.
vegetable. Yeah.
You guys ever do
Yeah, that movie
Reanimator?
No, I don't think they've done Reanimator.
It's hard to catch up. You know, there's only 200 episodes.
We haven't
so-
already said that. So Nachos, what about you, buddy?
Anyone that I'm in. No, I'm just joshing. Real talk, anytime you guys do a movie, I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm just like, well, I got a movie to watch now, so I know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Because otherwise, it's very, it's confusing. I'm like, I don't know what these guys are talking about. So I watch the movie. Also, secretly, I love Zombies. That movie was like way too much fun, funner than it should have been. I'm like, okay. And then you guys did Zombies too, and I'm like, fuck, I guess I have to watch Zombies too. And I'm like, fuck, I actually had a really good time, and it's a prequel? What? Yeah, dude. Those
Boom, blow your mind.
Yeah.
Zombies 2 is a prequel.
it's fucking scanners, dude. The PlayStation 1 graphics meerkats. Why are they hyping meerkats like the Velociraptor? You know, throw me like a giraffe or like I don't know. I have conflicting thoughts of the movie. I love it, but it's garbage. You guys did Zombievers, yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
episode number 5, Zombievers. We love that one.
That movie
Yeah.
is a special piece of shit. I love it. And
Oh,
honestly,
it's great.
It's great.
Yeah, speaking of which, we should probably have more female guests. We had our friend Jenny Bates on that one. She's a lifelong, high school buddy we've been just kept in contact with. And she jumped on that episode. We never had her back, and she said she'd come back. We just never got around to it, but we need some more. I think we need more female guests, period.
It's something I've been trying to work on for years and try to figure that out because I love having a female perspective on the show. Except one reason why we have Sarah on so much because she's always willing to do it and very easy. She's able to get on, pretty easily. So
First lady of Horrible Horror.
That's right.
yeah, first lady for Horrible Horror. But I agree with that. I like to get more female.
I got a
guests
wig
on.
out in my trunk. You give me like 3 minutes.
Oh, that works. That works. I gotta ask you this though. You said you talking about movies that you've never heard of that you actually went back and watched because of this. Did you do that with movies such like I don't know how many of you've watched, but like any of these? Did you do Terra Bloodfart Lake?
I've already seen it, man. I love both of them.
Oh my god,
I love how the man talks. The
Yes.
entire movie.
And then the ones like Bloody Mary 3D, Alice in Murderland, and those are some of the really obscure earlier ones we did that were no one's ever heard of.
All right, let's do the obligatory Tubi push. Thanks to Tubi, I can watch most of these movies with minimal interruptions.
Night of the Living Dead, Friday 13th.
Oh goddamn!
That's the name of the movie is Night of the Living Dead, Friday the 13th. So they're just trying to get anybody who's like doing a search for those movies to accidentally watch that one.
Okay, maybe I don't know that one.
That was episode number 3, I believe.
As far as Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, that was. It turned out to be our 2-part Ron Jeremy special by accident.
Whoa.
Because episode 2 was The Wicked, which starred Ron Jeremy, and episode 3 was Night of the Living Dead, Friday the 13th, also starred Ron Jeremy, or did star him, but featured him. And so yeah, that was a fun one.
Did you guys hear it? It's this older movie. It's like Friday the 13th, The Orphan.
Yes, I had it on my list for a long time. Because I was like, I gotta do this. But it's like a weird. If I remember, it's black and white, I think. But it's a real old, weird fucking movie. I did watch it, and it was like, this is nonsense to me. I watched it once and years ago, and it was fucking weird.
Did you guys ever see Saturday the 14th?
Well, yeah, that's the spoof. Yeah,
yeah.
Jeffrey Tambor, what happened?
That's like to say Transylvania 65000 or something like that. Those are the spoof ones. Yeah.
I'll watch that dog shit movie. That whole part where fucking Kramer has the baby doll. I'm like, okay, I'm not high enough for this. What the fuck is going on with this movie?
I went back after. I went back after listening to episodes from some movies like Pool Party Massacre. I had never seen that.
Hell
and,
yeah.
you guys said such love for it, so I definitely watched that one. Bloody Birthday, that was an earlier episode. I had never seen that.
Did you guys do Bloody Bible Camp?
Yeah, bloody Bible, bloody Bible.
Camp.
Yeah,
I did watch that episode. So I mean, there's been some highs and lows of some stuff. I hadn't seen Zombies 1 and I hadn't listened to that episode. So when I listened to Zombies 2, and you guys were talking about how like a prequel, I went back and watched that and then watched Zombies 1. And actually those were pretty fun. I was very surprised at how much I liked the first one for sure.
And that's the Asylum that does those, right?
yes, it is.
Wow.
Newly initiated into the Horrible Horror Hall of Fame Asylum now. That is a Hall of Famer you're talking about, sir. You will deal with respect that they have earned.
Sorry, let me clean off my mind.
Your monocle.
I'll have you know.
But I mean, we like Aaron said, like we love horror, so like we get around to quite a bit. It's not just the good stuff. Like
I do love horrors.
yeah, and anything that's on Tubi, like if I haven't seen it, I'm like, sure, I'm gonna check this out. Why not? You know. And so I have seen not everything that you guys have done, but I've seen quite a bit. Probably 70% of the catalog.
Safe bet. Yeah. I'd say I'm probably 71.
I'm probably about 90% of the catalog. There's certain ones I still haven't seen.
Yeah, the movies that he hasn't been on, like I keep trying to get him to go back and watch them just so he knows, so he can talk about when like the tournament time comes up or back from this. So at least he has some reference. He's like, he just refuses. Like, I can't get him to do it.
Don't do yourself a favor and watch Intruder for sure.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
Oh yeah,
That's solid.
I watched that one. Yeah.
Okay.
That was,
Yeah, because I actually was listening to that episode. He called in during that episode, and because
I was hoping you would have had me on,
You did,
like
it's
holding
fine.
the phone up, but you didn't. Oh well,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Dude,
Yeah.
that has
Okay,
like.
so
Oh, go ahead, dog.
so going forward, you know, we did 200 episodes. You know, do we keep repeating the same thing or same thing? I have a few ideas and just kind of bouncing off, you know, just what do you guys think? You know, start maybe looking at like, even if it's just a 15-minute conversation about a book or about a video game or about an album or something horror related that's just a little bit off the beaten path. Because I remember you guys did an episode of the first 5 Resident Evil games or first 4 Resident Evil games, 3. And I'm waiting for the other half of that because you're like we're gonna come back and do it, and then I guess, you know, shit happens.
Shit,
But,
at this time,
you know,
it might as well
I'm
be a
still looking
3-part.
forward. I really enjoyed those episodes where you guys broke down the Resident Evil series, and I was wondering that might be something we can do, you know, or
Like a
something
hip
like
hop
that.
episode.
Yeah.
that's probably one of the biggest what the fuck moments. I love
Yeah,
that.
for anyone who hasn't listened to Here Comes the Spooky podcast, there is an episode where we just talk of 90s hip hop. And it's all 90s hip hop. Nothing to do with horror, nothing to do
No,
with
at all,
anything
whatsoever.
spooky, just a pure 90s hip hop.
And it's a bunch of white dudes in their 30s and 40s talking about hip
In the
hop.
Midwest.
Yeah.
Couldn't be fucking farther from a coast if we tried.
Fucking engineer on that shit, dude. That was good.
That was one of our better ideas for sure.
I
That
didn't
one
know
was
Marshall was such an Insane Clown Posse fan. That really struck me out of nowhere. It's weird.
Dude, my closet is 90% Juggalo shirts, man. It's
in camo pants.
camel pants.
When you were like, grab me a beer from the back cooler, I cracked it open. All Fago. I was like, huh? How about that?
I buy it in bulk, man. I buy it in bulk and have it shipped directly to my house. I buy straight from the distributor.
Straight from Detroit.
Yeah.
I say definitely. It's I think you guys should do something like that. I mean, only if you want to. I mean, we like to break it up, not to plug ourselves too much, but we got the hip hop episode.
Plug the what?
The butt.
The Here Comes the Spooky
Here comes the spooky
podcast?
podcast.
Huh.
So, you know, not to plug us, but we sit around and sometimes we're just like, man, not in the mood to talk about a movie right now. So we have one where it's like, what do we think the worst in the franchises are? And we baked down like the Big 10, and we're like, which one's the worst one? We have an episode
Tell me 5
where we talk about our favorite Treehouse of Horror.
Oh, boom.
From The Simpsons and
Yeah.
like Halloween specials from the TVs and, you know, from TV shows
That
in
was
general.
the second half of Halloween 3, and I was fucking gone.
Yeah, you were
I went
dialed.
Daddy Atkins a little too hard on that one.
I also remember you guys did one with the Scooby-Doo villains.
Oh, love
Um,
Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Love
I
Scooby-Doo.
love that
stuff-
one, and I watched Scooby-Doo a little bit here and there when I was a kid, but I'm not a Scooby-Doo guy. But when I'm listening to it, I'm at work and I'm just like, hold on, what's the name of that? Okay, that's his name. Oh yeah, I remember that guy. Working. I'm like, hold on. So like, what took me, it should have taken me 20 minutes to finish this project. It took me like an hour and a half because I just kept stopping and looking up Scooby-Doo villains. It was great.
Who died? Shut up! I need to find out who the ghost of Captain Cutler is. God damn it!
It's Old Man Jenkins from the amusement park. I fucking knew it.
I knew it. That son of a bitch.
I want to go back and touch on something real quick. That Nachos, you might not have been picked up on audio, but I saw it on the video when you're talking about worst of the series. Nachos mouthed the words Halloween 5.
Oh, that one to me. That's
now,
that's like the Halloween 3 for you, but you know.
I'm not going to say Halloween 3 is worse than 5. I'm not going to go to that debate, but do you honestly think 5 is worse than like
Resurrection
or
it's Resurrection, Trick or Treat, motherfucker. It's a dog shit movie, but it's the same director from Part 2. I think like Rick Rosenthal or something. I obviously can't say that fucking word, but Halloween 5 is just like they bring in Dominic whatever the fuck, and that dude just shits the bed.
Yep.
Everything sucks. The fucking cops suck. Michael Myers looks like Nicolas Cage.
The Myers house is terrible.
That was my biggest complaint. Like the Myers house went from like this little white house, like a fucking castle. Like, how does that happen?
House kind of thing.
How does that happen?
It's the Myers Manor. Don't go there.
Yeah, it should be in the British countryside somewhere. That was the one thing.
Like,
I don't know, but
the thing that I hated, the thing I couldn't stand from that one is that actually Daniel Harris was a good child actor.
Fuck yeah,
She
dude.
could actually do a really good job. And half the movie, she's just going, Tina!
And then there's
So,
kids. It's weird.
Fuck Tina. That is like the most annoying. I'm pretty fucking annoying. I know that, but like she's streets ahead. Community reference. Dude, she sucks so much. It's like you need to think. It's like I never think if I can.
setting me up to think that I'm going to see a fuck scene in the barn and I'm going to see some boobies, and I don't.
You got fucked.
I don't.
Sir.
Yeah, I get fucked because I don't see no titties. I see kitties, no titties.
But no, they are.
honestly, that stretch between 5, 6, HBO, we'll take out the equation, and then Resurrection. Those three really put a hurting on the series, like as far as quality wise. 5, 6, and 8 were just. Whoa.
I love 6 because that was like the first one I saw in theater. And
me too. That's the first one I saw in theater.
Last night.
I was kind of blinded by 6s too. I saw it in the theater. I loved it because I always remember sitting in the theater and like when that scene comes in when he's in the hospital, he's killing all the doctors and the strobe lights going off in the theater, like, oh, this is amazing in the theater. And then I started watching it more and more. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what's really going on? And then I finally got my hands on the
producer's cut.
Producer's cut. Finally saw that. I'm like, what? Okay, what is that? Like, that's even stranger and weirder. Like, it went a whole new direction. So I was like, I don't know if I can really say 5 is worse than those. I don't know. It's a tough nut. That's a
6 is you kind of get. I kind of want to do a fan edit where you do like a choose your own adventure avenue. Like which timeline do we go down? Is the one where fucking Ant-Man beats Michael Myers with a pipe till Ecto Cooler comes out of his face? Or is it the one where they fucking roll 20s and fucking around Michael Myers and he can't
freeze him? Yeah.
And now Dr. Loomis is Myers and Dr. Wynn. Okay.
When you break it down, Halloween is such an odd and complicated franchise because like 1 and 2 are fucking bangers. 3's off on its own thing. 4, I just saw somebody get stabbed with a shotgun. That's not how you use guns, Mikey. But I love it. And then like starting with 5, it goes all over the place. My thing is like with Resurrection, at least it's fun. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah.
I'll defend it to my last day. Like,
it's a dog shit movie, but you know what? We get closure on the franchise. Mike does what he was supposed to do the whole time. Kill Laurie's like, fuck, what do we do now? I guess I go retire back at my house.
And then people invade his house. He was just trying to live a retirement life, man. He's playing bridge in the downstairs with his rat buddies, and people just come into his house. What do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna defend his property. He stands his ground, motherfucker. Stands his ground.
It turns into the fucking last Rambo movie. That's what it is. Keep those minorities out of my yard.
I don't know if it's just my love for Busta Rhymes or what it is.
You know what I don't love? That Tyra Banks's bitch ass didn't get fucking murdered properly. I hate her.
Yeah,
dude, I know. That's something we talk about on the episode. She gets top billing. She's on the cover. She's on the poster. She's hardly in it, and 2, when she does die, you just find her body hanging. It's like, ooh, it was such a disappointment.
Yeah, I wanted to see her get fucking stabbed with a shotgun, or like Michael Myers karate chops her tits off or something. Hey, what the fuck is this shit with Busta Rhymes? Like, no, Michael, get the fuck out of Dodge. I'm here to scare these kids. I eat Macho Man hat.
I was saying is that Busta Macho Randy Savage, Busta Man Savage? Right? I don't
Busta
know.
was going flip mode, and then he fucking bit into a Slim Jim.
Well, guys, I think we could talk Halloween all
Yeah,
day. I mean,
we can do
we're-
a whole
yeah,
episode of this because I want to get you. I would love to get your opinions on, like, you got the Rob Zombie remakes, and you got John Carpenter coming back in 2018, and all. So yeah, the Halloween franchise is such a unique, kind of its own little ecosystem of weirdness going on there.
But to get back to Aaron's question, see just how naturally, organically that conversation just evolved. Like, it's very easy to do it, and you can do it off the cuff without much preparation work, which makes it kind of nice because, as you guys know, you've been doing it for 200 episodes. Is sometimes preparing for these episodes can be it's fun, but it can be a chore.
You trying to tell me it's easier to go flip mode than go scripted?
Yeah, Marshall puts in a lot of actual work into this, like doing a lot of research, writing down the notes. And I just usually, have a couple beers, watch the movie right before the episode, rolling in, and I'm just like popping off the cuff. But I think it works pretty well, the combination. Every once in a while I'll take some notes, and yeah, I'm just going to watch the movie.
It's a good format for sure. I
Yeah,
remember
I
asking
think
you,
also
you're like,
helps we've known each other a
steel
long
trap,
time.
buddy. I just keep it all up here.
Well, right on, guys.
Yeah.
Marshall's looking up.
Yeah, you can't see my video, but I'm looking up because I'm hearing my 3-year-old running like a maniac upstairs above me, above my studio right now. I'm like, what the hell is going on up there? But anyway, yeah, I guess we probably should go ahead and wrap this up. We got a lot of, content we could probably do with you guys in the future, and probably certainly will be. But I want to, again, thanks for taking the time out for joining us. Thank you for being part of the extended Horrible Horror family, and not just, as listeners, but you're a fan. You start off as fans, and that's awesome. And you grew in, and we grew into this partnership and this family of ours.
Relationship?
It's bro relationship, if you will. And I think looking forward to a lot more stuff, collaborations with you guys going down in the future. I still stand by it. Halloween 3 sucks. Tom Atkins can suck my dick, and that's it. We're out. We're done.
Eddie Atkins will come for you.
Hold on, Patreon.
All right. Seriously, though, guys, thank you very much. We'll talk to you
Thanks
soon.
for having us, guys. We really appreciate it. It's been a blast.
It was easy like Sunday morning.
And you guys, listening at home, I'm about to say Moon Goons. Remember, watch more horror movies. And remember to always keep it tight.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.